with a second left to give the Falcons the win. Oakland did have 474 total yards in that game, a season high. Jacksonville has won the toss. Oakland will kick it off. Sebastian Janikowski gets us started. Michael Spurlock, the return man for Jacksonville, is going to take it out. Spurlock, a spin move, and he's buried just across the 15-yard line by Keenan Clayton on special teams. Pushing and shoving after the play. Jacksonville's offense will come onto the field, which means we'll see the second-year quarterback Blaine Gabbert running the show for Jacksonville.
And he told us yesterday that Jags spent the bye week getting back to basics, reviewing plays that were successful all the way back to the preseason and concentrating on their core offense. One thing that might help Gabbert is the elimination of drop passes. Malarkey said the Jags have dropped 18 passes in just 5 games this season.
It's a 3 tight end formation to open up with Jones Drew in the backfield. We'll get the call on first down up the middle. Maurice Jones-Drew carries for a gain of 3. Take a look at the starting offense for Jacksonville across that offensive line. They've got the veteran Brad Meester, longest tenured Jaguar and the most games played in Jacksonville Jaguar history. Backs and receivers, LaRon Robinson continues to sit with a concussion, so it's Cecil Shorts getting his first NFL start in his second year out of Mount Union. Division III product where he won 2 national titles. 2nd and 7 for Jacksonville. Jaguars come in last in the NFL in scoring, 13 points per game. Jones-Drew cutting it to the outside and hit by Wheeler and Houston with a penalty marker thrown at the 30. 5-yard gain for Maurice Jones-Drew.
It appears it's going to be holding against the Jaguars on the outside. One of the wide receivers.
Holding. Offense. Number 84. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Veteran referee Scott Green working here in Oakland today. Let's take a look at the starting defense for the Oakland Raiders. Up front, veteran group. Tommy Kelly among those providing leadership in this 4-3 set. Linebackers, Philip Wheeler has really emerged. Talking to Maurice Jones-Drew, he said Wheeler was the linebacker who showed up on tape more than anybody else. And in the secondary, Matt Giordano is in that starting role after the injuries to Bartell and Spencer. Michael Huff shifted over to corner. Maurice Jones-Drew is out. Medical staff is taking a look at him. Rashad Jennings is in, and Jennings is bottled up short of the 15-yard line.
Jones-Drew went right to the bench to get his ankle retaped. It's his left ankle that's bothering him right now. He put a great move on Miles Burris on that run that was called back because of holding, but this has really got to be a concern.
75 friends and family here at the game supporting Maurice Jones-Drew. Uche Nwaneri, the injured Jaguar, on this first series of the day. No score. We'll step aside. Coming back to Oakland in a moment. Maurice Jones-Drew has the helmet back on, a retaped job on that ankle. We mentioned all the support that he has here. This is 45 minutes from his hometown of Antioch. Jones-Drew on the sideline. Uche Nwaneri injured. Mike Brewster in for him. On the dump off, Mercedes Lewis well short. He only picks up a yard and a half. Pat Lee with the stick. Jacksonville will punt.
This is the second carry of the day for Jones-Drew. Try to figure out a great move there on Burris. Right there at the end, he came down. He had been hurt on the very first play of the game when he gained just 3 yards.
So Brian Enger on to punt it. What a season he's put together. A 3rd-round pick out of Cal. 51.3 punt average, leading the NFL. Philip Adams is the deep man. Adams dances his way for a 5-yard pickup on the return. 55-yard punt. Antoine Blake making the play on special teams. Oakland Raiders at 1-4, but feeling pretty good after their showing in Atlanta. But it was a loss for Carson Palmer and company.
And he told us on Friday that the loss to Atlanta was encouraging because the Raiders fought back and put themselves in position to win against a tough team on the road. And he believes that we can win, and that's the biggest part about this division, because if you remember last year how tight it was, it's just as tight this season.
There is Nwaneri. He's trying to work it out along the sideline for Jacksonville. 3 receivers set to open up. Handoff, McFadden nowhere to go. McFadden limited to a 2-yard gain on the first play of scrimmage for Oakland. Let's check out the starting lineups for the Raiders. On that offensive line, Khalif Barnes, the former Jaguar, continues to sit out with a groin injury. And there were some questions about Mike Brizell. Suffered a concussion, didn't play in the second half last week, but he passed all the necessary tests, and he's in there at right guard for Oakland. Backs and receivers, Brandon Myers. Nobody really knew about him, but the Raiders did, and he's having his best year. Spilled out. McFadden lost the ball, bouncing around. Jacksonville claims it. Raiders feel as if McFadden was down. Julian Stanford on the recovery.
Great hit by Derek Cox. This was mano-a-mano out on the flank here. Cox takes his feet out. The ball comes out after McFadden hits the ground. No fumble, but a great play by Derek Cox. Watch 21 come up here and just upend McFadden.
Loss of 3 on the play. McFadden did have a fumble last week in that loss to Atlanta. He has accounted for 82% of Oakland's carries. That's the highest percentage of running backs in the league. Blitz on. Palmer forced to get rid of it. He was looking for Denarius Moore, and he was looking for anybody because Paul Posluszny came charging through. Oakland goes 3 and out.
This is what a quarterback hates to see. Watch this charging linebacker, Posluszny, jump this gap, and there's just nobody. The guard goes one way, the center goes the other way. A mix-up between Wisniewski and Carlisle almost cost the Raiders a sack.
Michael Spurlock will be the return man for Shane Leckler, the 7-time Pro Bowler, averaging 49 yards per kick. His net average, though, is higher than normal, and that was based on what happened in the opener against San Diego when they lost their snapper, Kondo. Movement, flags come down.
And no snap. Kondo's the only one that didn't move.
Raiders had avoided penalties through the first 4 games of the season. Last week it fell apart in that category.
Ball start on the center. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
I don't know how you can have a false start in the center when the center's the only guy that didn't start.
We're going to have to look at the tape, I think, on that one. That's a very good point. John Kondo called on it, the snapper. 12 penalties last week, costing Oakland 110 yards. They had 19 penalties combined in the first 4 games. So Spurlock, former Cardinal, Buccaneer, 49er, and Charger will get an opportunity on special teams to have an impact. Hunt from Leckler. Spurlock has some room. Spurlock doubling back the other way. Trying to circle. Doesn't have the angle as Osbury ranged over on special teams to cut him off. A 49-yard punt. 3-yard return. We're scoreless opening quarter here in Oakland. Lake Merritt here in the Bay Area. Jacksonville and Oakland. No score here in the first. Maurice Jones-Drew still dealing with that left foot. Waneri is out with a left leg injury. His return is questionable. So Mike Brewster, the rookie out of Ohio State, in for him. Jennings gets the call. Cutting to the outside. Jennings brought down. Pat Lee read it well along with Shaughnessy.
All right, here's the injury to Maurice Jones-Drew. It appeared at the bottom of the pile. Watch number 99, Houston, come in there and just kind of twist his ankle a touch. But that was enough to get attention on the sidelines. That last play, Justin Blackmon lined up in the Wildcat formation, handed the ball off, did not fool the Raiders. And Gabbert back in now at quarterback.
So a little bit of trickery with Blackmon in there. Blackmon, a guy who could be the disaster quarterback if they ever lost Gabbert and Henny. Jennings hit by Houston, no gain on the play. Jacksonville living up to its ranking right now. They are struggling. Last in total offense, 242.6 yards per game this season.
3rd and 12.
They have scored just 65 points in 5 games. They've been outgained coming into this game. 2,120 yards to 1,206. These numbers aren't even close. 3rd and 12. From the gun. Gabbert over the middle. Jennings stacked up. short of the 35. Jacksonville will punt again. A 9-yard pickup. Miles Burris, first man there for Oakland, and Burris has been impressive in his rookie season out of San Diego State. The coaching staff loves him.
Yeah, and his idol growing up was Clay Matthews. Matthews, who's obviously become an all-pro, but even before that, when he was at USC, just a 100% guy all the time. Burris would love to be able to play as Matthews does.
And Burris wanted to tell our group, hey, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon late. I liked him back in college before he was a big name nationally. Angered punting. Denarius Moore returning. Dropped at the 28-yard line. Montel Owens, a special teams ace for Jacksonville. 40-yard punt, 2-yard return. Carson Palmer back on the field when we return. Join the NFL and the American Cancer Society in the fight against breast cancer by supporting a Crucial Catch campaign. Visit NFL.com/auction to bid on authentic NFL pink gear worn by players and coaches. 100% of proceeds benefit the American Cancer Society. And here in Oakland before the game, they unfurled a large pink ribbon honoring survivors and their families, and the NFL doing a terrific job throughout the league in this month of October. Still no first downs in this opening quarter. Oakland with the football at its own 28-yard line. Motion man Brandon Myers has been the leading receiver for the Raiders this season. Now it's Darius Hayward-Bay in motion on 1st and 10. Fake the handoff. Palmer over the head of Moore. He had Moore open, but could not get it to him. Defensively for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they come in ranked 29th in team defense. Only 3 sacks this season. Austin Lane had one of them 2 weeks ago when they lost to Chicago 41-3. Linebackers, Darryl Smith continues to sit with the groin issue, and so that means Kyle Bosworth continues to start. And in the secondary, Krasinski getting his second career start for the injured Dwight Lowry. Handoff. McFadden runs into a crowd. Jeremy Mincy, first man there. 3.5-yard gain for Darren McFadden. Tyson Alu also in on the stop.
And we talked about how many passes the Jags have dropped on offense, but they also defensively in their secondary have dropped a number of interceptions. 10 so far on the year. And those are game-changing, momentum-changing type of plays at a team that's 1-4, a young team with a new coaching staff. They've got to make those plays today.
Last meeting against Jacksonville, McFadden had 208 total yards. 3 touchdowns, but he's averaging just over 3 yards per carry this season. Palmer. Deep ball. He's got Hayward-Bay streaking down the sideline and forced out of bounds. Huge gain for Oakland on the bomb for 58.
Well, running it against Rasheed Mathis, number 27. And Hayward-Bay told us he knows that Mathis coming off of an injury. He's seen it all. You got to bring your game. But with the thing that Hayward-Bay has with a great little hitch and go move there is the blazing speed. Watch as he runs away from Aaron Ross and barely gets out of bounds before getting to the end zone. Big play for the Raiders.
Longest play of the season for Darius Hayward-Bay. It'll go down officially 59 yards. Handoff up the middle. McFadden. Now you're right about that scouting report on Mathis. Darius Hayward-Bay said, look, he's coming off the torn ACL. I got to use my speed.
And he's got plenty of speed. A great track athlete in high school where he was coached by a Coach Monroe who happened to be a Jamaican, and he knows all about, no, you have to do is say sprinters and the word Jamaican, and they kind of go together, don't they?
But then he angled towards football at Maryland. They wanted him to run track. He said, no, I'm still raw. I need reps. So he shied away from track and focused on football. Obviously made the right choice. 2nd and goal for Oakland. Palmer off his back foot. End zone. Incomplete. Brandon Myers, the intended target. Palmer got some pressure from Russell Allen, and DeJuan Landry drawing the assignment against the tight end. No flag.
Yeah, this is 2 times now that the Jags have been able to put pressure on Palmer with their linebackers. We saw Posluszny in the previous series. Watch number 50 right in here behind the goalpost. That's Russell Allen. He's going to shoot the gap as well. Nobody there to pick him up. He drills Palmer, and contact in the secondary. Ball well overthrown, but Good thing for Allen, it was a good clean hit on the quarterback, did not draw a flag.
3rd and goal for Oakland. Looking to get on the board. Palmer from the gun. Fires. Short of the goal line, Darius Hayward-Bay. Paul Podlesny made sure that he didn't advance it after the catch. 5-yard gain. Field goal unit will come on for Dennis Allen's squad.
Really a spectacular tackle by Podlesny from the left side of the screen. That's just perfect technique as he wraps up and does not allow Hayward-Bay to extend near the goal line.
Sebastian Janikowski is yet to miss a kick this season. 10 of 10 field goals, 36 straight made inside the 40, 21-yard attempt. Chip shot. Oakland takes the lead, 3-0, 6:13 remaining. Opening quarter. Get live score updates for all of your favorite teams with the new CBS Sportcaster app available on select devices. Visit cbssports.com/mobile or text SCORE to 42777 to get the free app. Raider Nation happy with the 3-0 lead to open things up. 6:13 to play in this first quarter as Janikowski booms it through the back of the end zone. And Thursday on CBS, see why Elementary is TV's #1 new show. That's Thursday, only CBS. Still working on the left ankle of Maurice Jones-Drew, and this is very frustrating. All the anticipation coming back home, playing in this stadium for the 2nd time in his life. The first and only time came back in high school with De La Salle, 2002, when they knocked off San Leandro, team that had Dennis Dixon and Jarrett Page, for the sectional championship. Bootleg, nobody home. Blackman, the intended receiver. Gabbard couldn't get it to him.
Gabbard complaining that perhaps Blackman was held, but it shows you how good Maurice Jones-Drew was back in high school at De La Salle, playing for Bob Ladouceur. They never lost. Doesn't get much better than that. He said he was 48-0 in his 4 years there in Concord.
All part of the 151 game winning streak. Very sharp in the high school photo. 2nd down for Jacksonville. Jennings getting the call for the injured Jones-Drew right now.
Number 23, Rashad Jennings.
5-yard gain. As we head to New York, NFL Today update. JB and the coach.
After spotting the Jets' 7-0 lead, this took place.
Yeah, it took 4 minutes, 44 seconds for the Jets to score. It took 10 seconds here. Devin McCourty, 104 yards on the ensuing kickoff. They tie it back up 7-7. The Jets back with the ball.
Ian, your boy Dan Fouts could run that fast back in the day. Back to Ian and Dan.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Huge storyline developing here. Fill you in on that in a moment after this 3rd and 5. Gabbard pats the ball. He hits Jennings. Breaks the tackle, and Jennings has got a 1st down across the 35. But Maurice Jones-Drew being carted off. They have taken off the wrap and the shoe on his left foot. This was on the 2nd run of the day for Maurice Jones-Drew as we take a look at the hit that Gabbard just took on the release from Mitchell.
Yeah, that's the safety blitz, but great job by Jennings breaking the tackle of Philip Wheeler to pick up the Jags' first down.
So Maurice Jones-Drew, who grew up a Raiders fan, his favorite player, Napoleon Kaufman, running back for the Raiders growing up, and he's headed to the locker room. Gabbard off the play fake. Good find. Cecil Shorts able to locate the soft spot in that Oakland defense. 19-yard hookup with Phillip Adams there defensively for the Raiders.
Spectacular throw by Gabbard as he had to fit that into a tight window against that zone defense of the Raiders. Good for 19 yards, move it all the way into Raider territory. So what the Jags need is a big day out of Gabbard.
He comes in last in the NFL in passing yards per game, 2nd to last in completion percentage. Hand off to Jennings, not much there as he falls forward for 2. Hit down low by Miles Burris for Oakland. Well, we saw Gabbert last year. You've prepared watching some tape on Gabbert this year. Your thoughts on his development in year two? Still a very young quarterback, and it's a learning process, even asking him about everything that he's tried to kind of take in over the last year and change.
Well, he's getting great coaching now by Greg Olson. He's an outstanding quarterback coach, working on his fundamentals basically, dropping back, setting his feet, stepping into throw just as he did that time.
2nd and 8. Play action. Gabbert throwing the long ball. Separation. Touchdown. Cecil Shorts. He handled it as if he was taking a punt. That's how open he was for a 42-yard touchdown. Jacksonville goes in front.
Well, looked like Phil Adams was the corner on that side of the field. He was expecting help from Joselio Hansen. Watch the move to the outside here. Adams lets him go. Now Hansen bites on an inside route. Rather, it looked like Tyvon Branch, the safety for the Raiders, expecting that in route that was completed just previously. Great play for the Jaguars to get on the board and get the lead.
And Shorts is proving he's a big play guy. He's averaging 25.6 yards per catch. Scobie knocks through the extra point. Jacksonville with a 7-3 lead. It quiets the crowd. Cecil Shorts getting the start and getting it done in the first. Blaine Gabbert on that drive, 3 of 4 for 74 yards. And he connects with Shorts for the 42-yard touchdown. 6 plays, 80 yards, 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Off the clock as Scobie kicks it off to Mike Goodson. Goodson a yard deep in the end zone is going to take it out. Goodson hits the sideline. Goodson looking for blockers. Fires through that alleyway across the 40-yard line. Excellent field position as Kyle Bosworth and Scobie there to chase him down. It's a 45-yard return for Goodson.
Now watch Tyvon Branch here. He's going to come over and then expect the in route, but instead it's the corner to the post route by Shorts. But this is a real bust in the coverage. Look at that reaction by Branch, and Shorts goes right by him. 2 catches on that drive for Shorts, 19 and that 42-yarder, and the 6th touchdown pass for that man of the season.
6th game of the season. First time they've scored a touchdown in the first quarter this season. On a dump off, Marcel Reese, versatile fullback, picks up 3 yards on the play. Lozny's got a nose for the ball. First man there for Jacksonville. First time that he's played out in the Pacific time zone for Puzlozny. Only just the second time he's ever been to California. He said he did a visit with San Diego before the draft and was here for less than 24 hours.
But you know, he looks like he might fit in here with the long hair. And,
surfing.
Yeah. Close to Haight-Ashbury across the bay.
I think he'd be fine to blend in.
Birchwood right up the road. He could make it here.
He's from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, of course. Palmer, spin move by McFadden. And Darren McFadden cannot get clear of Derek Cox. Anthony Smith put the pressure on him initially and made contact.
Well, this is impressive by the offense of the Jags and their defense. After losing your superstar running back on the second play of the game, you would expect a team that's 1-4 to, maybe fold up already. But they're fighting hard. They're really dictating the pace of this game now, except for that long punt return or kickoff return by Goodson. But defensively, very active.
Well, Mike Mularkey yesterday said, hey, I like our locker room. The guys see that we're not that far off despite what outside sources are trying to create. They're not buying into that drama from the outside. Palmer to McFadden, and he is brought down at midfield. A 4-yard gain. The Raiders do nothing on offense as Russell Allen combines with Derek Cox on the stop. And some Raider fans getting anxious here late stages of the first quarter.
Well, they expect this game to be a cakewalk for the Raiders, and the Raiders just really wasted a great opportunity. The great kickoff return by Goodson out to midfield. They don't do anything with it but 3 and out and bring on Leckler.
And now Aaron Ross is going to get an opportunity to return punts, the veteran formerly with the New York Giants. Ross with a fair catch called for at the 11-yard line, 38-yard punt. That's where Jacksonville will open up this drive now with a 7-3 lead. Well, Dennis Allen put up the AFC West standings for his team to see where Oakland fits in. They come in a game and a half behind Denver and San Diego. A win here would put them 1 game behind the first place teams in the AFC West.
And they have games remaining against both Denver and San Diego. A Denver game would be here on a Thursday night. Then they close out the season in San Diego. So we're well aware that this division is wide open.
Uche Nwaneri is back in there. No Maurice Jones-Drew. It is a left foot injury. Gabbert lost the ball. And a flag is down. Gabbert able to pounce on it.
There's a penalty flag on the play.
Line of scrimmage originally the 11-yard line.
Defense, number 96. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Christo Bilikuti jumping into the neutral zone. Bilikuti, the rookie from Georgia State, right here. Watch him move quickly. This may have distracted Gabbert and caused the fumble with the exchange with Meester.
He is the first Georgia State player ever drafted in the NFL, taken in the 6th round by the Oakland Raiders. Second penalty against Oakland. 1st and 5 for Jacksonville. Jennings right now the featured back, and another penalty marker. This play never happens, although there was contact.
Well, the Raiders are offsides again, Ian.
Matt Shaughnessy.
Yeah, he jumped well before the ball was snapped.
Unabated to the quarterback. On the defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So that's penalty number 3 against Oakland.
Well, here he is out here. Watch the quick jump he gets. Way too quick, but you know, there are subjective penalties and then they're just mental errors. The last 2 penalties against the Raiders, lack of concentration, a mental error.
Oakland did an excellent job against the Atlanta running game last week, held them to 45 yards. Michael Turner had just 33. Set it up in the flat for Jennings. And hits the outside for some extra yardage. Philip Wheeler on the chase down for Oakland.
Well, Wheeler and Jennings are getting to know each other a little bit. That's twice now that Jennings has broke his tackle and gotten extra yardage.
Give him a gain of 5 on first down. Rashad Jennings in his 4th year out of Liberty. He's different than Maurice Jones-Drew. He's obviously bigger. He's 6'1", 228 pounds. Last year spent on injured reserve because of a knee injury. Actually played at Pitt for 1 year before transferring to Liberty. Had some issues back at home. His dad wasn't doing well, so wanted to be closer to family. On the hookup, it's Gabbert to Mercedes Lewis for a gain of 9, and they'll move the chains out across the 35. First down for Jacksonville into the first quarter. Jaguars leading the Oakland Raiders 7-3. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. Start of the second quarter here in Oakland. Jacksonville leading it 7-3. And today, a celebration of 50 years of the Raiderettes. It's been a huge weekend. They had a dinner dance inviting all the former Raiderettes to come back to the stadium and participate in the pregame dance. Friends and family enjoying this one in the stands as well. 3 tight end formation for Jacksonville. Handoff for Jennings. Jennings rumbles just short of the 40-yard line, picks up 3 yards in the process. Michael Huff in on that stop for Oakland.
Yeah, great first quarter for Blaine Gabbert, 7 of 8 for 99 yards. Remember, he's only averaging 142 yards per game passing coming into today's game. So he has obviously picked up his game, especially when you consider that Maurice Jones-Drew is in the locker room getting his left foot checked out.
Yeah, Mike Mularkey talking about Gabbert still learning how to drop back in the pocket, completely different from his college days and even his rookie year, as this offense has been changed from last year to this year under Mularkey. Gabbert under pressure, flag thrown, he's sacked. Tommy Kelly.
I think Tommy Kelly may have jumped off sides, though. He had such a quick jump working against Nwaneri. Gabbert shaken up just a bit after that big hit.
A loss of 13.
Offside, number 93, lining up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, second down.
And the penalties are really piling up as we head to New York. JB, Coach Cowher.
Hey, Coach Shannon loves the tight end action.
Oh, you love this because you love this quarterback throw. Watch Tom Brady loft it over the defender. Rob Gronkowski, great catch. 14-7, New England.
Tom Brady, 39 straight games with the touchdown pass. Back to Ian and Dan.
All right, guys, New England has won the AFC East 8 of the last 9 seasons. Dominance in that division. Jennings up the middle, in for Maurice Jones-Drew, out with a left foot injury. It's a 5-yard gain for the fourth-year running back, Rashad Jennings.
How big that penalty was, Ian. Would have been 3rd down and 20. And having suffered a sack, your emotions are down. Your offensive line is confused. They don't know where the guy came from. They get a fresh breath of air here with the penalty on Kelly, and now had the ball near midfield.
Well, no doubt Oakland knows what the numbers were coming into this game. Jacksonville had allowed 69 quarterback pressures, the second highest total in the league. Raiders are trying to get pressure, but there's been a lot of movement on that line. Jennings is clobbered. He gets hit by Andre Carter and Miles Burris. Carter recently signed, Pro Bowler with San Francisco, played with Washington, New England last year, had 10 sacks, and Carter back in the NFL.
Yeah, the son of Reuben Carter, who I played against. He was a great nose tackle for the Denver Broncos.
2nd and 9 now for Jacksonville out near midfield. They lead 7-3. I'm Eagle, Dan Fouts, rest of our CBS crew here in Oakland. Gabbert throws it. High throw, deflected. Incomplete. Nearly intercepted. Michael Huff back there. Mitchell back there as well.
With the pass breakup that was intended for number 84,
Cecil Short's the intended receiver for the Jaguars.
Yeah, Huff does a great job of breaking on that high pass, and then Mitchell almost comes away with the interception. Gabbert gets away with one there, just his second incompletion of the afternoon.
Dennis Allen telling our group that Mike Mitchell is going to be in there more this week. The way he's performed in practice, he deserves to be out there. Gabbert eludes the pressure, throws, and it bounces off the feet of Tyvon Branch. Shorts again the intended receiver.
Yeah, just a 3-man rush forced Gabbert to move up in the pocket. While he's moving, this is when Shorts uncovers here. He's wide open here. Now the ball thrown behind him as Gabbert was getting out of the pocket and then trying to throw back across the middle. And Gabbert getting attention on the sidelines on looks like his left shoulder after that big sack that was called back because of the penalty.
Yeah, he just winced as the medical staff was taking a look. Anger the punt. Adams, the return man, loses the ball. It's a muff. Ball is free, and Jacksonville's got it. The Oakland Raiders give it up. Russell Allen making his way downfield on the recovery.
There was nobody around out. Nobody around the returner that time, Phillip Adams. And he's just going to let this ball go right through his hands onto the ground. Good coverage by the white-shirted Jags. And there's Allen with the recovery. And the Jags are in business. Now, what's the status of Blaine Gabbert? He's back in the huddle, so obviously he's okay.
And Jacksonville takes over at the 16-yard line of Oakland. What a turn here. The Raiders able to come up big defensively, stop Jacksonville, and the Jaguars get the ball off the muff punt. 3 receivers set. Nickel package here for Oakland. Shotgun formation. Gabbert. Pump. Gabbert throws. It's stabbed there by Mike Thomas. Good grab by Thomas for a first down, 11 yards. Michael Huff with coverage.
Yeah, the veteran Thomas has done that a lot in his career. That's 166 career receptions for the Jaguars. That was a big one right across the middle as the Raiders continue to play zone defense, just rushing 4. Talked about how few sacks the Jags have on the season with 3. The Raiders have only 4 coming in to today's game, although they did batter and beat up Matt Ryan last week in Atlanta.
Jacksonville has just 1 rushing touchdown this season. First and goal for the Jaguars. Gabbert throws it away. Was anybody there for Gabbert to throw to, though? Lamar Houston with the heat.
You know what? You're right, Ian. There was nobody in the area.
No intentional grounding. Number 23 was in the area.
Oh, that's a big area code. It's supposed to be a screen pass to the right side here.
Second and goal from the
To Jennings, and he was in the area covered by Rolando McClain, but nowhere near the ball.
Second and goal for Jacksonville. Jaguars trying to add to their lead. Jennings right up the middle. Touchdown, Jaguars. Rashad Jennings busting through the line. Jacksonville extends the lead. It's 13-3.
This little inside trap play. Evan Britton from his left guard position does a great job. Watch him come behind the center, make the block here, and right to the goal line goes Jennings.
Just the second rushing touchdown of the season for Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew has the other. And just like that, the Jaguars with a 14-3 lead. 3 plays, 16 yards off the muff punt. Adams losing the ball. Jacksonville pounces on it, and they turn it into a touchdown on the ground. Jennings, Jacksonville in front. In this league, you never know when you're going to get the call. All the buildup for Maurice Jones-Drew coming back to the Bay Area. He lasts 2 plays. A left foot injury, and Rashad Jennings steps in and gives Jacksonville a 14-3 lead. Goodson, the return man, and he's chopped down at the 20-yard line by Jalen Parmalee on special teams. Saturday, the Home Depot SEC on CBS is one of the game's biggest rivalries. The unbeaten Florida Gators tangle with the Bulldogs of Georgia. All the action begins live, 3 o'clock Eastern, with college football today right here on CBS. Blaine Gabbert, 8 of 12, 110 yards and a touchdown. Strong first half for the young quarterback. The Oakland Raiders have been limited to just 1 first down. McFadden. And again, not much there for McFadden. It's a 1-yard gain for him. Terrence Knighton with the stop. AFC South standings. Houston, what a win. What a performance today against Baltimore. Indianapolis, a victory over Cleveland. Tennessee now all of a sudden on a hot streak as they beat the Buffalo Bills.
You look at that Houston game, that performance against Baltimore. Remember, Houston was embarrassed last week. What a bounce back big win against a very quality opponent.
Clearly the best team in the AFC, the Houston Texans, and looking for home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Bootleg on the move. Palmer, a dart for Myers, and Jacksonville reads it perfectly with Bosworth making the stick. 3-yard gain.
Well, you don't see the Raiders rolling out Carson Palmer very often, and the Jags just playing a very soft zone, taking away everything deep. They know that Carson likes to go deep. That's Chad Henne warming up on the sidelines. Makes you wonder about Blaine Gabbert and that left shoulder.
Oakland Raiders come in averaging just under 17.5 points per game. That's 29th in the NFL. In trouble. Palmer forced to throw it away into the ground. He takes a shot from Posluszny. And the Jaguars defense gaining some steam here in the first half. Oakland goes 3 and out.
I think Posluszny likes California. This is twice now that he's gotten into the quarterback here. Palmer had to bring it down because of the coverage by the other linebackers. And he drags the big Raider quarterback to the ground, but that's 3 times now that linebackers have put Carson on his wallet.
Shane Leckler, the punt. Spurlock, the return man from the 30. Tripped up. Spurlock can't break free. Mike Mitchell got him down low on special teams. 45-yard punt, 2-yard return. Jacksonville with the ball in a 14-3 lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Skyfall, in theaters November 9th. Toyota Care, caring for you and your car. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Look at Jack London Square here in Oakland, right on the water. Jacksonville with a 14-3 lead over the Raiders. Black Hole has been rather quiet so far. Jacksonville has looked sharp, 135 yards of offense. Handoff, Jennings knifes his way to the 40-yard line and a 7-yard pickup for Rashad Jennings.
Let's go back to the injury to Blaine Gabbert. Tommy Kelly jumps off sides, number 93, but watch him drive Gabbert left shoulder into the ground. Obviously he's hurt there off sides, but perhaps more importantly, Gabbert felt it, and Chad Henning's been warming up on the sidelines.
So we'll keep an eye on Gabbert and that left shoulder. It's 8 of 12, 110 yards and a touchdown. Jennings is in there with Parmalee. Motion man, Cecil Shorts, no Maurice Jones-Drew out with a left foot injury. Happened on the first drive of the day. Handoff to Jennings, right up the gut for 2. First man is Rolando McClain.
And we go back to the injury to Maurice Jones-Drew. Appeared that right there, left foot injury, and they just could not get enough tape on his ankle to make him feel comfortable. Took him to the locker room where he's being checked out as we speak.
Jones-Drew actually came out to the West Coast during his bye week, went to UCLA to register for classes to wrap up his major, which is history, a minor in business. Jennings nowhere to go. So after the strong run on first down, setting up Jacksonville nicely with second and third down and manageable yardage, they don't get it. Unable to convert, a loss of 1 as Burris and Bryant collaborate.
Yeah, number 56 is Burris, 90 is Bryant. And Burris at the point of attack, and then Bryant comes from behind and keeps Jennings from even getting back to the line of scrimmage. Great team defense on a 3rd and short.
Another punt for Enger, and Adams is back there after mishandling the last punt. Adams standing at his own 18. He will backpedal, and this ball is going to hit along the sideline and take a Jacksonville roll, settle in at the 23-yard line. So that's where Oakland will have it in a 14-3 hole after the 36-yard punt. 7:40 to go, first half. Raiders have had a rough go of it in this first half. 4 penalties, just 1 first down, 79 yards of offense. They trail 14-3, 7:40 to play in the second quarter. Spread formation for Oakland on a 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. Palmer. Protection holds up initially. Little floater caught by Hayward Bay. Turns it upfield for an 8-yard gain. That zone blocking scheme, there was such excitement coming into the season. You know that it can be effective. That's our FOUTS focus.
Well, what it all means is that the offensive lineman must block anyone that comes into their area, creating a seam for Darren McFadden. But then when he gets in the secondary, will get help from his wide receiver. Once he hits the 40-yard line, check out his 40 speed to the end zone. 4.3 in full gear and carrying the mail against Pittsburgh.
2nd and 2. Again, an empty backfield for Oakland. Straight back, Palmer. Flings it up in the air. And off the deflection, it bounces to Cox for the interception. Carson Palmer trying to make a play, and he just cost his team.
I'm not sure who is flicking this ball to. Went over the head. It looked like Goodson coming out of the backfield. Really a costly mistake by a veteran quarterback. As Palmer comes back, he's going to get pressure again. It's a 4-man rush, actually 5. He gets tripped there. And then the ball goes over Goodson's head in front of Denarius Moore, and Cox right in the middle heads up to make really a good catch.
And that's where you get the snowball effect. The Raiders struggling. Palmer wants to make a play, wants to do something for his team to get things started, and ends up making a mistake.
Well, this is being reviewed to see if it hit the ground. Obviously it did not, so it's Jaguar ball. But you're right. Chad Henne now at quarterback.
Chad Henne is in for Blaine Gabbert. Henne out of the pocket. Formerly the starter in Miami. He's got a strong live arm as he threw it towards Zach Potter. Incomplete. Lamar Houston with the pressure on Henne. So we noticed it. as Blaine Gabbert took that shot to the shoulder from Tommy Kelly. Gabbert was clearly uncomfortable the last 2 possessions, and now Chad Henne is in there running the offense for Jacksonville. They have lost their starting running back, Maurice Jones-Drew, with a left foot injury. Blaine Gabbert right now is out with a left shoulder injury, and Chad Henne is operating out of the gun for Jacksonville on a give for Jennings. Oakland brings him down after the gain of 4 as Richard Seymour and Philip Wheeler there defensively for the Raiders.
Now Gabbert has taken a lot of hits in his young career, and having broken my collarbone, I'm not saying that that's what he has, but it certainly looked like when he winced like that, it was very sharp pain, so it gives you an idea that it's something very serious.
Coming into this game, he had been sacked in 20 consecutive games, and maybe the most frustrating part is that was on a penalty. That injury. He wasn't even a clean sack by the Oakland Raiders defense. 3rd and 6. Henne, too much on it. Trying to hit Cecil Shorts. That one required probably more of a touch pass to lead Shorts. And now Jacksonville's looking at a 50-yard field goal attempt with Scobie.
Watch the pressure here from Burris. He doesn't get anywhere near, but the nervousness of Henne, as you said, Ian, he fired about a 10-yard fastball instead of the changeup. Go Giants, by the way.
Yeah, that's later. San Francisco Giants.
Yes,
Dan
absolutely.
is a San Francisco native, big fan. 50-yard field goal attempt. Scobie's long this year is 47. Scobie. Oh, it's right down the middle. Josh Scobie nails it. Josh Scobie came in 1 field goal away from being the franchise leader, and now he's the all-time leader in Jacksonville history. That is now 15 consecutive made field goals for Josh Scobie, and also the all-time leader in Jacksonville history, 176th of his career. Jaguars with a 17-3 lead over the Oakland Raiders as Scobie knocks through a 50-yard field goal, and he made it look easy. Scobie will kick it off to Mike Goodson, who is standing 8 yards deep. They're going to try an onside kick. Off the deflection. The Jaguars come up with it. Jacksonville had the bye week. They've looked fresher. They've looked sharper. And Jacksonville catching Oakland off guard.
Yeah, this was clearly a perfectly executed onside kick. Keenan Clayton for the Raiders had a shot at it, but he was running backwards, never saw the ball coming off the tee. Scobie with a perfect little pooch here. Watch it go 10 yards. There's the 10 yards. Now it's a free ball. Clayton gets blocked out of the way, and the Jaguars at the bottom of the pile appear to have recovered.
Antoine Blake officially gets the recovery for Jacksonville. You can't do it any better.
No, and it was easy. There was about 4 or 5 Jaguars that could have had a shot at this one.
So Blake was wrestling and eventually came away with a loose football. There's dead silence here in Oakland. Raiders don't know what hit them.
Yeah, they're just got to be very confused by the way the Jaguars outplaying him in every phase, taking advantage of a couple of turnovers for 10 points. Raiders have made mistakes with the offside penalties. And the Jags feeling so confident at this point to try an onside kick so early in the game.
John Bonamego, the special teams coach, dialing that up at the right time for Jacksonville. On turnovers, you take a look upstairs. They did. And Jacksonville has the football. 1st and 10 at the 45. Chad Henne in for Blaine Gabbert in a 17-3 lead. Jennings in the backfield. Jennings hesitates. Thrown down. Tommy Kelly along with Michael Huff, a loss of 1 on the play.
And you talked about the Jags coming off the bye week and all the things you can prepare for, but can you really prepare for losing your star running back and your starting quarterback? Jags doing a great job overcoming those unbelievable events.
Well, Mike Mularkey made the comparison to Oakland last week. The Raiders were coming off their bye, and played in Atlanta. Played very well. In fact, probably should have won the game. And Mularkey felt that his team on the long trip, that's what Oakland had to do, take the long trip to Atlanta. That it was a bonding experience. And they have shown it in this first half. A 17-3 lead. Bootleg. Henny. Nice pass. He connects with Shorts. Angled out of bounds. Cecil Shorts will pick up 10 yards on the play.
Shorts having a pretty good afternoon. He's already been in the end zone one time. And somebody who's not having a very good afternoon is Phillip Adams, as he gives up about 10 yards in Cushing to Shorts. Shorts got that long bomb in the first quarter. That will influence coverage later on in the game. And now the Raiders take out Adams completely.
So it sets up a 3rd and 1 now for Mike Mularkey and company. Jaguars 1-4 coming off a bye. Week 5 they lost to Chicago 41-3. This play never gets going. Flags come down. Nope. Timeout.
Timeout. Oakland.
Raiders use a timeout. 4:39 to play in this first half. Jacksonville with a 17-3 advantage. The injury update for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Maurice Jones-Drew, Bay Area native, leaves the game in the first quarter with a left foot injury. Blaine Gabbert suffers a left shoulder injury. And both players listed as questionable for their returns. Rashad Jennings is in at running back. Henny off the play fake. Incomplete. Parmalee looking for a flag and a matchup with McLean. And on 3rd and short, Jacksonville unable to convert. Oakland, in fact, comes in worst in the NFL defensively on 3rd downs.
Yeah, good job here by the middle linebacker. McLean not going for the fake. Really tight coverage. May have gotten there just an instant soon. But the other player was showed on the sidelines getting tended to was Montel Owens, who's the special teams maven for the Jaguars.
Yeah, Owens was injured on that scrum after the onside kick. What do you do here? Jacksonville has decided to go for it on 4th down.
They're just 1 of 3 in their first 5 games this season, converting 4th downs.
Play clock is down to 6.
They're going to have to use a timeout here.
Mularkey knows it, relays the information. Henny takes the timeout with 4:35 to go in the second quarter. Reminder, coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. JB and the rest of the gang, the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report.
And I think part of the reason Mularkey is mulling this over and wanting to go for it is that the Raiders have not been very good stopping 4th down conversions. It seems they've allowed 4 out of 5 conversions on 4th down. Plus the Jaguars have got all the momentum right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Henny doesn't try to just use the hard count and draw them off sides.
Yeah, what was the theme that came out of our meetings with the Jaguars? To a man, everybody talked about having fun, enjoying themselves, getting back to the things you love about football. And they have. Mularkey's had a big smile on his face throughout this first half. His team has performed well. They're going for it on 4th and 1. Blackman goes in motion. Moving pocket. Henny on 4th down. Throws it away.
I hate that call. I mean, here you've got just a yard to go and you're rolling out a quarterback that's no threat to run at all. They rolled him out on 3rd down to the other side of the field, incomplete. And now as Henning comes out to the left side of the screen, he just has nobody to throw the ball to. Raiders did a super job of covering up his receivers on that side of the field. The other thing, when you roll out, you're only limited to that side of the field.
And on 4th down, throwing it away, actually, you don't give your team a chance to even make a play. If you float one upstairs, what's the worst that could happen? Dump off to Reese. Marcel Reese keeps on going to the 45. It's a 9-yard pickup.
And the other part of that, just throw it to the Raiders.
Interception works as a punt.
You're going to be down the field. You're going to gain that many yards with an interception.
You might at least pin them back 15, 20 yards on a pick.
Well, I know something about picks. And I always would come off the sideline and say, oh, it's as good as a punt, Coach.
Yeah. Do we have video of that? Do we want to roll in some of Dan's?
Lots of video.
2nd and 1. Here's McFadden. Let's see if the Raiders can use this as a momentum builder. And a springboard to Anthony Smith with a stop. It's a 1-yard gain. It is enough for the first down for Oakland. They'll move the chains.
Yeah, they need to change the tempo. Maybe go no huddle here, get to the line of scrimmage. They're going to get back in the huddle. They've got 3.5 to go with 2 timeouts and great field position.
Injury update on Montel Owens, the special teams ace, a left shoulder injury. His return is questionable. Raiders have it in Jacksonville territory, trailing 17-3. We come up on 3 minutes to go, second quarter. Palmer under duress, out of the pocket. Palmer's got an angle, out of bounds. 9-yard pickup for Palmer on the tuck and run, just short of a first down.
You got to be impressed with this Jaguar defense. The pass defense has been very good. Rarely have we seen Palmer been able to go back, set his feet, and throw. There's always been some hesitation. He gets a hand to the face right there, shakes that off, and then gets down to the sideline. But the Jags doing a good job covering his initial receivers.
And now Palmer is the Raiders' leading rusher on that one run. Handoff to McFadden, dives up the middle for 4 yards. McFadden now 8 carries for 10 yards. You know, that's been as befuddling as anything. Darren McFadden has been unable to produce on a consistent level. We know about the talent that he brings, the breakaway speed. He's a difference maker on this team, but he just has not found a rhythm.
Well, it's because the offensive line hasn't found their rhythm. They've had all these different combinations because of injury on that offensive line, and any back will tell you that he's only as good as that offensive line will get him to that second level.
New set of downs for Oakland. Play fake. Palmer standing tall in the pocket. Out route. Dropped by Hayward Bay. Derek Cox back there in coverage for Jacksonville.
This is the type of play you've got to make to keep the momentum on your side. This ball thrown low into the outside, but nobody is there to harass Hayward Bay, just a flat drop. And again, your team needs you to make that catch to keep this good feeling going after getting the ball in the loss of downs for Jaguars.
Only win for the Raiders this season back in week 3. They knocked off Pittsburgh 34-31. They have not won consecutive home games in 13 games. Palmer, a dart to Myers, who's become such a trusted target for Carson Palmer. That's 9 yards, and that's the 2-minute warning here in the second quarter. Jacksonville with a 17-3 lead. Oakland is threatening late stages, first half. Young Raider fans hoping to see the home team punch it into the end zone. 17-3, Jacksonville in front of Oakland. Offensive coordinator Greg Knapp, he and Carson Palmer have developed a strong bond through their first years together. Handoff, Owen Schmidt. First carry of the season, and it's good for a first down. Needed a yard, he gets 2 to the 20-yard line.
That's really a good call by Greg Knapp, too, because nobody was expecting Schmidt to carry the ball. And you've got Darren McFadden in the backfield, and the guy's never carried the ball all season. Jaguars weren't ready for it, and that's a key first down to keep the drive going for Oakland.
And Dan, the infield dirt is gone here in Oakland, replaced by grass after the A's were eliminated in the ALDS by Detroit in 5 games. Palmer hit, coughs up the football. It's kicked and recovered by Jacksonville. Mincy knocked it free.
Yeah, Mincy with a great stunt, working inside from his defensive end position. Mosley comes away with the recovery. Question that the Raiders want to know is, was Carson's arm moving forward? But watch the hit here by 94. I think that ball is going to be called an incomplete pass because Palmer with his big, strong hands, watch that ball is going forward. His arm is going forward. Ball still in his hands. This will not be the Jaguar ball, in my opinion.
The previous play is being reviewed.
Definitely going forward.
So Oakland's going to get the football back. Palmer was able to extend through as he was being hit, and his arm was clearly moving forward, and there was a release at the end of it.
He's such a big, strong guy, 6'5", 235. And obviously strong hands. Watch as he gets hit. Still has the strength to make the throwing motion. And the Raiders will have the ball at the 20-yard line.
Now, Raider fans are certainly familiar with the tuck rule.
Are they ever?
This isn't going to make up for that.
It's not snowing as much here as it was that day, huh? That was perhaps one of the strangest calls I've ever seen.
Yep.
And talk about, let's go back to it.
Charles Woodson,
The 24.
Tom Brady loses the ball. A minute 43 left. Oakland in front 13-10. It's reviewed. Brady appears to tuck the ball and then coughs it up. The play was ruled an incomplete pass that kept the Patriots drive alive. They eventually go on to win it 16-13 in overtime, advance on in the AFC playoffs.
Scott Green still in the hood checking out the replays. It's pretty clear to me that ball still in the hand of Carson Palmer as the arm is moving forward in a passing motion.
It's rare, Dan, that you see both offenses on the field at the same time.
That's what we have here now.
Yeah, that's not common.
That's a great scene. The Raiders offense on the left and the Jags on the right.
I'd like to see offense against
After
offense.
reviewing the play, the quarterback's arm was going forward with possession of the ball. It was an incomplete pass. It will be 2nd down and 10 on the 20-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute and 24 seconds.
So shift change for Jacksonville. So the arm was going forward. Palmer was able to complete that motion as he was hit. And the big key here, as you said, Dan, he's got the hands to secure the ball. So he can continue that throwing motion, and it's incomplete.
And you shake hands with the guy like Carson Palmer, and your hand disappears into that big mitt.
2nd and 10 for Oakland. After the incomplete pass, Reese the motion man. Fake the handoff. Palmer over the middle. Myers turns it upfield and bang down at the 15-yard line. It turns into a 5-yard gain, and that's where Carson Palmer has to make a choice underneath.
Watch the job that Myers says. Just follow him as he blocks on the linebacker here, then finds an opening right over the middle. Really a heads-up play by Myers and good nonverbal communication with his quarterback. Raiders trying to fake a screen to both to the left side then to the right side, and Myers just found a hole right over the middle.
Big play here, 3rd and 5 with 48 seconds to go. 10th play of the drive. Myers in motion, shotgun for Palmer. Throws, tight space for Myers. He can't haul it in. They say he's got the best hands on the team. Chris Brzezinski makes the play defensively for Jacksonville, and Janikowski's coming out for Oakland.
And how about Brzezinski filling in for the injured Dwight Lowry? Makes a huge play here at the end of the first half, forcing the Raiders to settle for a field goal after getting the ball turned over on downs.
33-yard attempt for Janikowski. Leckler will hold it. John Kondo, the snapper. And the lefty kicker, Janikowski, knocks it through. Cuts into the Jacksonville lead. 17-6 with 34 seconds to play. First half. A reminder that coming up, we're going to have the Verizon halftime report for you. Head back to New York. JB and company, the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Verizon halftime report. 127 yards of offense for the Oakland Raiders in this first half. Carson Palmer is 9 of 17, 106 yards, an interception. Palmer has gone for 200 yards or more in 11 straight games. That's tied with Rich Gannon for the Raiders record.
You know, half of those 127 yards came on just one play, the 59-yard bomb to Darius Hayward-Bay in the first quarter. So Raiders not really getting much done there. And I think that has to go down as a win for the Jaguars that stopped the Raiders, holding to just a field goal after the Raiders got great field position to start their drive.
So Carson Palmer, short time here in Oakland. These performances, though, are not translating into wins consistently enough. He's 5 and 10 as the Raiders quarterback after the deal last year with Cincinnati. Janikowski kicks it off. Spurlock is going to take a knee. Jacksonville will have it at the 20-yard line with 34 seconds to go in the second quarter. Nobody knows the game like a quarterback. Don't miss Phil Simms, Rich Gannon, Steve Berline, special guest Dan Fouts, NFL Monday QB. That's tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
I know you'll be tuning in, too.
Oh, I don't miss it.
I can't believe it. They found my house, and they're going to find it again.
They are. So they got the satellite working.
They're already there. It's unbelievable.
Oh, they camp out the night before in Oregon?
Well, they have to. It's a long way from civilization.
Jacksonville takes a knee at the end of this first half, and a successful first half with Blaine Gabbert going down with a left shoulder injury. Maurice Jones-Drew, a left foot injury. It's Henne and Jennings filling in respectively in those two spots. And it's Jacksonville in front, 17-6 over Oakland. We'll come back. Verizon Halftime Report is coming up after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. Oakland, Jacksonville dealing with injuries. Maurice Jones-Drew on his second run of the day, an injured left foot. He has not returned. And Blaine Gabbert, left shoulder injury. Chad Henne has come in to replace him. Jacksonville has taken advantage of Oakland mistakes. 2 first-half turnovers. The Jaguars have looked sharp. Both teams 1-4, and it's Jacksonville in front, 17-6 over Oakland as we get you ready for second-half action. Time right now for the Droid Razor M play presented by Motorola. Blaine Gabbert to Cecil Shorts on the long connection down.
Yeah, and a miscommunication in the secondary by Phillip Adams and Tyvon Branch really cost the Raiders. Branch expecting an in route, but you got to really hand it to the Jaguars for overcoming the adversity of losing their 2 stars in the first half. It'll be interesting to see how the Raiders come out in the second half because they were just absolutely flat throughout that first half.
Along with Dan Fouts, Ian Eagle, the rest of our CBS crew. Oakland, they made it pretty clear. They looked at the standings. A win puts them right into the thick of things in the AFC West. Jacksonville, meanwhile, 1-4 coming off the bye week, felt that they did a good job self-scouting during that bye week, and clearly they noticed some things and have made improvements. They look good in that first half against Dennis Allen's squad, and it's the Raiders in a hole against the Jaguars.
Yeah, that's not the black hole either. This crowd taken out of the game by the performance of their hometown team in the first half.
On the kickoff, Scobie, and the ball just dies 3 yards deep in the end zone for a touchback. Oakland will have it at the 20-yard line. First half stats, all of them in favor of the Jaguars.
And the other thing about the Raiders, they had the ball twice in the red zone and had to just settle for Sebastian Janikowski field goals. But who would ever thought that you lose Maurice Jones-Drew so early in the game? It's the second play of the game where he injured his left foot, and then Gabbert takes a big hit on offsides on Tommy Kelly. How ironic is that?
Blaine Gabbert late coming out of the locker room for Jacksonville, so Henne is going to be in there at quarterback when Jacksonville gets the ball. McFadden has not been able to get untracked. 8 carries, 10 yards in the first half for Darren McFadden.
And nothing on that first carry. Give him 1 yard on that, but it's just been a good team defense. Cox with a good move there to keep him from getting to the corner. Just look at all the white jerseys on their feet pursuing the ball and bringing down the dangerous number 20.
He had 70 yards rushing and a touchdown last week in that loss to Atlanta, 23-20. Raiders felt they had turned the corner. Palmer could not secure the ball coming off the snap and then had to jump on it. So it goes down as no gain, and 3rd and long now for Oakland.
Boy, this was going to be a zone play to the left side. It appeared that the snap was there by Wisniewski. But again, it's just another miscue for the Raiders, something that's happened a lot today.
And Oakland actually fortunate that ball didn't get kicked around when it's left on there with the offensive line in that area.
Yep.
So Palmer able to jump on it. 3rd and 9. Raiders maintain possession but trying to convert here. Pressure. Palmer steps up. Palmer another fling. Incomplete in the area of McFadden, and a very quiet 3 and out. Andre Branch and Terrence Knighton combined to put the pressure on Carson Palmer.
And defense coordinator Mel Tucker dialing up the blitz. You can see Posluszny coming as well. Palmer getting out, but just really his inability to get rid of the ball as he initially sets up in the pocket. That just tells me that the coverage down the field has been excellent for the Jaguars.
Michael Spurlock waiting for the punt from Shane Leckler. Wobbly kick. Spurlock has some room in front of him from the 33. Stutter step. Spurlock Still on his feet. Spurlock hit along the sideline as he crossed into Oakland territory. Finally brought down at the 40-yard line. A 28-yard return by Spurlock. Jacksonville picking up where they left off from the first half to the second half. Chad Henne on the field when we return. Well, this is not the homecoming that Maurice Jones-Drew visualized. Coming back to the Bay Area after 2 carries, taken out of the game with a left foot injury, on crutches, making his way to the Jacksonville sideline to watch the game here in the third quarter. Jaguars take over Oakland territory. Handoff. Jennings finds a hole. Rashad Jennings, the backup to Maurice Jones-Drew. He picks up 8 yards.
Now, this is very early in the game. Second carry of the game for Maurice Jones-Drew. Somewhere at the bottom of that pile, he injured his left foot. He's now in a walking cast on crutches.
Couldn't tell if Lamar Houston had rolled up on that ankle or what the issue was. We'll obviously get further word when this game is over. 2nd and 2. Jennings has done excellent work, though, stepping in for Maurice Jones-Drew. 15 carries, 38 yards, and a touchdown. Stutter step, forcing his way for the necessary yardage and a first down. Rashad Jennings running with confidence. It's a 4-yard gain.
And when you think about the Raider defense, first thing that comes to mind when you talk to opposing teams is how strong they are against the run. That big front four, Shaughnessy, Seymour, Kelly, Houston, and now the Jaguars making it look easy, running right at the Raider front four.
Raiders come in 18th in the NFL in rushing defense, 24th overall. Scoring defense hasn't been good. They allowed just under 30 points per game. Jennings getting some blockers, but stacked up. Couldn't quite turn the corner cleanly. It's a 3-yard gain. Matt Giordano over in that crowd for Oakland defensively. It'll be a 2nd and 7. First half possessions, a couple of punts to open up. Then
Gabbert got hot.
He did. He sure did. He went 7 of 8 at one point. And he hit Cecil Shorts on the long touchdown. Remember, they were doing that without Maurice Jones-Drew. Then Gabbert goes down with the injury. Henne steps in to replace him in the second quarter. Jacksonville with a 17-6 lead over Oakland. Both teams at 1 and 4. Henne not on the same page with Blackman. They don't get a whole lot of time together. First team reps.
Yeah, and you're working a veteran quarterback with a rookie wide receiver. Henne now just 1 of 6. He is expecting Blackman to get his head around a lot quicker because ball long on the 3-step drop.
Only win this season for Jacksonville, week 3 at Indianapolis, 22-17. They played in some close games, had an opportunity to win in the opener against Minnesota. That loss actually looks pretty good now. Game that went to overtime, considering how big a surprise the Vikings have been this season. 3rd and 7. Henne shotgun. Henne out of the pocket. Henne caught from behind, short of the 20-yard line by Tommy Kelly. It's a 2-yard gain. And the Jacksonville drive will end right there with Scobie now coming on for a field goal attempt.
Well, they've really struggled on third downs all year, just 31%. So far this afternoon, just 1 out of 8 for the Jaguars.
Josh Scobie, who made one from 50 yards away earlier, now attempting a 40-yarder. Trying to pad the Jacksonville lead. Anger, the holder. Jeremy Kane will snap it from 40 yards away. Scobie drills it. 20-6. Jacksonville. 10:42 to go. We're in the third quarter. Coming back to Oakland. The NFL on CBS. Halloween just around the corner, and down in the Raider rookie kid zone. Costume contest.
That's great. I really I like your little broadcaster costume you're wearing today.
You like that one?
Outstanding. It reminds me of your old handsome suit.
Yeah, it's just like my handsome suit with the CBS blazer. Thanks, Dan. Bringing up some old memories for me. Mike Goodson on the return. And he is dropped at the 15-yard line by William Middleton. This costume's good all year long, Dan. Next Sunday, Week 8, NFL on CBS features the Patriots and the Rams from London. The Dolphins take on the Jets. The Raiders meet Kansas City. It all starts with the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines at noon Eastern here on CBS. All those guys wearing a handsome suit out on our NFL Today set.
There you go.
Whoa, that's not supposed to happen when you lift
the
Darth Vader mask. As you know, I've gone as Daniel Snyder a number of times to Halloween parties. Mike Goodson hit from the side by Julian Stanford. Let's see if Oakland can get something going offensively. This has been very limited for Oakland. They had the one long pass play to Darius Hayward-Bay, but beyond that, not much else.
And you can see they're trying to change the tempo now. No huddle. Go to the line of scrimmage, see if they can get something going with this style of offense.
Palmer is 10 of 19, 112 yards and an interception. First catch of the day for Goodson. They're looking for something here, and they've said that Goodson does bring a little something to the table, a little bit of juice. He brings so much energy. He's a talker out there. McFadden is back in. McFadden up the middle. McFadden getting to the second level. First down, Raiders. Just short of the 30-yard line. Valdir and Wisniewski with key blocks up front. An 8-yard run for McFadden.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a hole, but it's just enough for the explosive McFadden. Right through here. The double team with Wisniewski and Carlisle. McFadden punishing tacklers.
19 yards on the ground for McFadden. Oakland down by 14 to Jacksonville. Still plenty of time. 9:20 to go in the third quarter. Just the 5th first down of the day for the Oakland Raiders. Reese sets up as a receiver in the slot. The pass underneath, complete. Darius Hayward-Bay. First down, Oakland to the 40-yard line.
And finally, Palmer gets back and throws it quickly. Set his back foot, hit the slant route perfectly to Hayward-Bay.
Hayward-Bay talked to our group about how good the practices have been the last couple of weeks. He's been here 4 years, and he knows what it's like when practices were a struggle. That has not been an issue with this team. McFadden, it looked like McFadden was going to rip off a solid gainer. He just slips down. That's on nobody other than Darren McFadden, a 3-yard gain.
Well, really ugly possessions today for the Raiders. But at least they're getting something out of this drive with the no-huddle offense. Palmer calling the plays at the line of scrimmage.
Oakland Raiders at 1-4. They also started 2009 1-4. They haven't been 1-5 since 2006. 2nd and 7 for Oakland.
180. What's up?
McFadden in the backfield. Palmer up top. Broken up to Darius Moore, the intended receiver. Mathis there defensively, and a flag throw.
Yeah, pretty obvious call. All the fans saw it as Mathis trying to cut off Moore on the sidelines. Made contact way down the field.
Interference. Defense. Number 27. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah, it's a flat go route by Denarius Moore, and he still almost catches the ball. There's the bump right there. That's pass interference. The official digging for the flag. 33 yards on that penalty.
Del Palmer knows it. Raiders take over 1st and 10 at the 23 of Jacksonville. They trail by 2 touchdowns. Palmer, screen pass. McFadden explodes across the 15. C.J. Mosley brings him down. It's a 9-yard pickup.
That's a heck of a tackle by Mosley, who was playing inside over the between the guard and center. Read that screen and got out quickly to keep McFadden from getting in the end zone.
2nd and 1. It's McFadden. Could not break free of Posluszny, but he does get the first down. A 3-yard pickup. New set of downs for the Raiders as they inch closer.
Here's a touchdown saving tackle by Posluszny. As if he doesn't make this tackle, you can see nothing but end zone in front of McFadden.
Line of scrimmage will now be the 11-yard line. This is the 7th play of the drive. Jacksonville 20, Raiders 6, and even 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. operating out of the gun. Inside handoff. McFadden. They push the pile for 3.5, 4 yards, depending on the spot.
To the 8.
Raiders cannot afford to come away with less than a touchdown on this possession. The hurry up, no huddle offense, not really hurrying up. We go back to the huddle now, but it certainly worked to get them to this point. This is their third red zone possession of the afternoon. 2 field goals to show for the previous 2.
Longest drive of the day for the Oakland Raiders. 2nd and 7. Palmer upstairs, too high. He was looking for Kreiner. Derek Cox in coverage, the rookie out of Arizona, Jaron Kreiner, 5th-round draft pick, the intended receiver.
It looks like Kreiner should get called for pass interference there as he pushes Cox to the sideline. Ball thrown out of the back of the end zone by Palmer because of the tight coverage by Cox, but officials must have deemed that ball to be uncatchable.
Both teams have 172 total yards of offense. The Raiders looking to punch this one in. A 3rd and 7 for Oakland. They come up on 6 minutes to go in the 3rd. Palmer, a deep drop. Palmer gets rid of it. Caught. Moore extending in for the touchdown. Denarius Moore accelerates. And the Raiders trying to rally in the second half. His first catch of the day.
3rd touchdown catch of the season for Denarius Moore. Did a great job of after the catch knowing where the goal line was. Got down low, dove, extended the ball across the plane. Watch this effort by Moore as he comes out here, then comes back in on the slant route. Palmer gets the ball to him quickly. Big gaping hole.
Carson Palmer telling us about Denarius Moore. He said he's special. His hands are phenomenal. He has incredible body control. And he has that fight in him. You put the ball in the air, he's going to go and get it. 9 plays, 85 yards. And they're going to take a look.
They're going to see if his knee was down. I don't think it was. I think that body control, flying low to get across the plane, is exactly what the Raiders needed.
We'll see if the officials agree.
Well, Denarius Moore extends across the plane with the ball before his elbow or knee hits the ground. This is going to be a touchdown. Even if it's not, it's 1st and goal from the inch line.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Scott Green confirms it. And Oakland an extra point away from cutting this to 7.
That's exactly what you talked about, Ian, about the body control. To be able to lay out there, knowing there are 2 defenders coming from both sides, seeing the goal line and being able to almost levitate before you your knee or your elbow hits the ground. Great play by Denarius Moore.
Moore goes airborne. Raiders get the touchdown. It's 20-13 with 6:01 to go in the 3rd.
Great effort by Moore getting between Aaron Ross and Derek Cox for a much needed Raider touchdown.
20, Oakland 13, 6:01 to go in the 3rd quarter. Touchdown to Denarius Moore, his 3rd of the season. Janikowski kicking off to Spurlock. Returnable. Spurlock to the outside. Forced out of bounds, short of the 20-yard line. And ruled out at the 16. Brandon Ross makes the play on special teams. Tuesday, how do you keep the peace when the mob is going to war? It's the new hit drama. Vegas, Tuesday, only CBS.
Well, we'll see how Chad Henne responds now. He's had a rough go so far, filling in for Blaine Gabbert. Just 1 out of 6 for 10 yards, but he's going to have to up those numbers in a big way because right now the Raiders have momentum.
Henne, a 2nd-round draft pick out of Michigan back in 2008. Was on injured reserve last year with a bad shoulder. He was erratic in Miami. There were some high moments, but not enough consistency. Play fake. Henne is drilled. Miles Burris. Just like his father Jim did back at Oregon State when he sacked Dan Fouts on the freshman team of the Oregon Ducks.
Well, this one perhaps more important as Burris picks up his first sack of his NFL career. 10-yard loss. And I do remember that cheap shot from his daddy.
And there is Jim Burris, all pumped up.
Yeah, laugh now.
2nd and 20. Henny. Look out! Jennings! Hit in the end zone. Forward progress will get him to the 3. It'll be a loss of 4. Lamar Houston with the big stick.
Great play by Lamar Houston, realizing that Henny wants to throw the screen pass. Here he is way out here as the screen's going to come right to him. Just kind of really under control on his pass rush. He read it all the way. That's good scouting by the Raiders right there. 2nd and real long. The Jags go for the screen, and Houston would have none of it.
Raider Nation has been energized. Play clock is down to 2. It's down to 1. Henny on the shovel for Jennings, and he's bottled up at the 5, a 2-yard pickup.
Jaguars lose 10 yards on 1st down on the Burris sack. And the fine play by Houston on 2nd. They lose 4 more to the Jags, and then a very conservative little shovel pass gives Anger a little more room to punt the ball. Raiders should have great field position.
Henny is 2 of 7, 12 yards, relieving Blaine Gabbert. Phillip Adams waiting for the punt in Jacksonville territory at the 49. Pressure here on the rookie punter Brian Anger out of California. Wobbly. Adams, flag thrown from the 49. Adams, a juke move up the field. And brought down to the 37 after a 44-yard punt, 12-yard return. Bosworth makes the play on special teams. Penalty marker thrown at the 47-yard line.
Make you think that it's an illegal block on the return. Raiders offense already moving backwards.
Holding receiving team number 34 during the kick, 10 yards from the end of the kick, 1st down.
Mike Mitchell, who has been a standout on special teams. Penalty works against Oakland. They'll back it up, trailing by 7. Chad Henne called into duty with the injury to Blaine Gabbert. Same for Rashad Jennings. Injury to Maurice Jones-Drew. The Raiders 4 first downs in the first half. They had 5 on their last drive. And they now trail by 7. Pump fake. Palmer throws over the middle. Connects with Myers. Short of a first down. 8-yard pickup through the air. Steven Spielberg talks about his new film, Lincoln, and the timeless lessons it holds for today's politicians. 60 Minutes tonight. Carson Palmer, 14 of 24, 149 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. McFadden in the backfield. Palmer making sure everybody's on the same page here on a 2nd and 2. Palmer straight back. Floats it over the middle. McFadden with the catch. And enough for a first down just across midfield. Pozluzny with a tackle. Let's get to New York. JB and the coach.
Brady's favorite target today.
Yeah, Rob Gronkowski. He's going to take this off the play action. 3rd down and 2. His 2nd touchdown of the day as the Jets now go up 23-13. Pats back up 23-13.
I know the Beard had a couple of favorite targets. Back to the Bird and the Beard.
Is the order different? What, you're now, it's the Beard and the Bird? Did that change?
It is the Bay Area, my friend.
That's a good point. You deserve top billing, Hall of Famer. Palmer drop. McFadden. Opportunity there to try to get McFadden out in space. Jacksonville was closing.
That's twice now we've seen him be just a little over anxious. Remember, he tripped on a play that looked like he might have had some big yardage. Well, here he knows he's got something going with a screen pass. You can see there's nobody in front of him. Palmer knew it was going to be a good play, but just a little bit over anxious by McFadden caused the incompletion.
Injuries have been the issue for McFadden throughout his career. Foot, knee trouble. Has never played a full season. He's actually been healthy this year. Just has not been able to find that consistent rhythm. McFadden goes down, stumbling forward. McFadden picks up a yard or so. We're under 2 minutes to go now in the third quarter. Jacksonville with a 7-point lead on Oakland.
2 yards on the carry.
So third and long now for the Oakland Raiders.
And third downs have not been kind to the Raiders this afternoon. Just 3 out of 9. But they did a good job on their last drive converting third downs to get finally into the end zone.
Sixth all-time meeting between these two teams. Jacksonville is 4-1 against Oakland, and that's 4 straight wins for the Jaguars in the series. 3rd and 9 from the gun. Palmer out of trouble. Pumps. Palmer looking to run. Palmer takes a hit along the sideline. The shot comes from Russell Allen. Palmer on the scramble picks up 3-4 yards, and Oakland will punt.
Well, Allen is the Jags' leading tackler, and he gets a free shot on the quarterback here as Palmer trying to get to that down marker. It's going to come up way short, but again, it was great coverage in the secondary. Nowhere to go with the ball. He was forced to run.
So 4th down, Shane Leckler punting to Aaron Ross, now in his 6th year in the league, signed a 3-year, $15 million deal from the Giants during the offseason. It'll be a touchback as it rolls into the end zone, a 45-yard punt, but a net of just 25. Wednesday in primetime, JB, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms showcase America's favorite game with their own unique style. Inside the NFL, it's Wednesdays on Showtime. Maurice Jones-Drew on crutches, walking boot for that left foot. No specifics, just a left foot injury. Gabbard has the sweatshirt on and the cap. Both going down in the first half for Jacksonville. They're holding on to a 7-point lead. They surround Rashad Jennings. Richard Seymour, first man there, got some help from his Raider teammates.
A great job by Seymour. Watch as he's inside here, loops to the outside. Looked like Jennings might have had something to begin with, but really a heads-up play causes another negative play. They lose 2 on this, so they've run 4 plays here in the last 2 series, and only in 1 play they gained yardage. That was a 2-yarder on the shovel pass.
They're down to 158 total yards of offense.
That's not the direction you want to be going.
Play clock is down to 2, down to 22 seconds to play in the third. Henny with a short drop. Could not connect with Blackman. Henny hit as he released the football.
You can just see that the passing game is uncoordinated right now with Henny not getting the practice time with the first-team receivers. In fact, Henny was just about to go off the field right there. You see him heading to the sidelines, came back to the huddle.
Blackman has been shut out. No catches for the talented rookie out of Oklahoma State, the number 5 pick in the 2012 draft. 3rd and 12. Henny underneath, checks it down to Jennings. Fighting for that first down line. He doesn't get there. Matt Giordano helped make sure of it. 7-yard gain on the pass play. Jacksonville will punt. So they'll start the clock, and that is going to do it for the third quarter. Jacksonville 20, Oakland 13. We'll come back here in the Bay Area after this message, a word from your local station, the NFL on CBS. Well, there was a moment where you thought Raider fans were pushing the panic button, but Oakland has rallied and shown signs of life here. 20-13, Jacksonville in front. Spilled out, Phillip Adams. He got hit down low by Antoine Blake on special teams. 44-yard punt and just a yard on the return. Just underway, fourth quarter. Some early game headlines for you. Eli Manning, huge numbers again. The Giants get the win over Washington. Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints get a W against Tampa Bay. Aaron Rodgers goes for 342. Packers beat the Rams, and Chris Johnson, vintage Chris Johnson, 195 on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Tennessee comes from behind to defeat Buffalo. Raiders take over, 1st and 10 at the Oakland 32. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, rest of our CBS crew, producer Bob Monsbach, director Suzanne Smith. Carson Palmer coughs up the football, and the Raiders didn't know it was free. C.J. Mosley in there for Jacksonville. Terrence Knighton got the pressure. Jacksonville takes over deep in Oakland territory.
Yeah, the pot roast got to the quarterback there. Just a great effort up front. Number 96, Terrence Knighton. They call him the pot roast. Here he is, and you can see his pot roast there. He's got that stance, gets in on the quarterback, pulls Palmer back. It looked like Valdir knocked the ball out of the quarterback's hands. And another mistake by the Raiders, a turnover that could prove very crucial, as the Jaguars will have great field position.
Jacksonville with a 1st and 10 at the Oakland 24. Chad Henne in for the injured Blaine Gabbert. Handoff to Jennings, in for the injured Maurice Jones-Drew, and he's spun down by Philip Wheeler. No gain on the play.
Number 23, Rashad Jennings immediately.
You just wonder what type of offense that the Jags will run now with Chad Henne as their quarterback. Bob Bratkowski, the offensive coordinator, searching for plays that will be effective, as Henne's had a real rough day. Just 2 completions, 4 completions now, but just nothing down the field at all.
Jacksonville has just 1 first down in the second half. 2nd and 10 for the Jaguars. Operating from the gun. Henne steps up. Henne takes a shot. Remember, Jacksonville has only 2 quarterbacks on the roster.
And we talked to Mike Malarkey about, what happens. Part of our preparation to find out who the emergency quarterback is, sometimes called the disaster quarterback. And he said it would be Justin Blackmon. We already saw Blackmon in the first quarter run one play from the Wildcat formation. But Henne cannot afford to put him and his team in a situation like that by absorbing that type of hit.
They are 1 of 10 on 3rd down conversions. 3rd and 7 now for the Jaguars. Stack the receivers to the right of Henne. Henne is dumped! Back at the 28 by Lamar Houston.
Great job by Houston to pick up his first sack of the year. He's in a sprinter stance. Watch him cut to the inside here. Jumps inside of Eugene Monroe and hits the quarterback for a huge sack.
So Houston takes Henne's legs out from under him. It will be a 45-yard attempt for Josh Scobie. He has not missed a field goal attempt this season. Hit one from 50 earlier. Trying to make it a 2-possession game. Scobie. He's got it. 23-13. Jaguars. 12:40 to go. We're in the 4th. Jacksonville 23, Oakland 13. We still have 12:40 to go in the 4th quarter here at O.Co Coliseum, the only remaining stadium that's home to an NFL and Major League Baseball team. Jacksonville with 3 takeaways, 13 points scored off of those turnovers. But they really could have put some space between them and Oakland. They recovered the fumble from Palmer, but have to settle for the field goal attempt. Goodson moving forward from the 4. Down the middle, he's slowed down. Trying to cut it to the outside. A flag is thrown. And Goodson chased out of bounds as he crossed the 30-yard line.
This is going to be an illegal block against the Raiders. And this will back up Carson Palmer in the offense to about the 10-yard line.
Holding. Number 31, receiving team, during the return. 10-yard penalty. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And it is Coy Francis, second-year pro out of San Jose State, formerly with Cleveland and Seattle. So the Raiders are going to be pinned at their own 7-yard line, make it the 8-yard line, just short of the 8. 1st and 10, 18 penalties last 2 games after Dennis Allen had cleaned things up through the first 4 games. First down for Oakland. Mike Goodson is in the backfield. Play fake. Palmer throwing. Tip ball. That ball was going to float into the hands of Darius Hayward-Bay.
Great play by Postlesny, getting really deep in his coverage there, taking away this route. Watch Postlesny. Look how deep he is, and his right hand's going to go up just enough. And the Raiders are lucky the ball wasn't picked off of the deflection, but just a great effort by the middle linebacker.
2nd and 10 for Oakland, trailing by 10. Palmer. That ball bounces in front of Hayward-Bay, as again the Jaguars put pressure on Carson Palmer.
Yeah, I think he was hit as he let go of this ball.
Hayward-Bay, the intended receiver.
George Selvey, number 91, is going to push the right tackle, Willie Smith, all the way back into the quarterback, and that's why that ball came out on one hop.
Selvey making a season debut, and while Jacksonville does not have a whole lot of sacks this season, they have applied pressure on Carson Palmer and forced him to do some things that he doesn't want to do, like getting rid of the football earlier than anticipated. 3rd and 10. From the gun, Palmer does get rid of it. He connects with Myers. Can Myers make a play? He cannot. Flag is thrown as Palmer got hit.
Yeah, they're going to get roughing the passer.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 90, defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Andre Branch, the rookie out of Clemson. Jacksonville has 11 rookies on this roster. That's 3rd in the NFL.
Yeah, bottom of the screen, number 90, going around Valdir, and you can't hit the quarterback in the head. I mean, do these guys ever go to meetings and listen to their coaches or even the officials in training camp when they come around and visit and talk about the rules? I mean, for a defensive lineman, this has got to be rule number 1. You can't hit the quarterback in the head.
Dan, the series is over. This is done. Oakland's punting. Jacksonville's getting the ball back, if not for the mistake by the youngster Andre Branch. First team All-ACC last year with 10.5 sacks as a senior at Clemson. 2nd-round draft pick. Keeps this Oakland drive alive. 12 minutes to go.
Jags would have got great field position, probably at midfield.
Conventional set for Palmer. He throws. Finds the open man. Marcel Reese. Multi-dimensional Reese. Hits the perimeter and knocked out of bounds. The zigzag by the fullback, if you want to call him that. He's a converted wide receiver, and you can see what he does out in space.
Well, he played wide receiver at the University of Washington. This is good for 36 yards, which is a new season high for Marcel Reese. Runs like a tailback. He's got the size of a tight end or H-back. Big play.
They gave him a new contract, but he's been pretty quiet in his 3rd year from Washington. Underneath to Myers. And there's no doubt Palmer is very comfortable working to Brandon Myers. Landry and Postlesny combined to bring him down. It's a loss of 1 on the play.
Yeah, he says about Myers, he's got that savvy, very professional, understands defenses. But really the key comes down to is that Brandon Myers has the best hands on the team. Anybody on this team will tell you that, especially his quarterback.
Palmer said he's just outlasted everybody at that tight end position. They've gone through a bunch of them, and Myers is the last man standing. Inside handoff. McFadden, nothing there. He's spun down. A gain of 2. C.J. Mosley, first man there for Jacksonville. Myers, unheralded, 4th year from Iowa. He was a 6th-round draft pick, known as an outstanding blocker. He had never caught more than 16 passes in a season until this year.
And he leads the Raiders' interceptions.
Darius Hayward-Bay among those saying that all the Raiders knew that he could do it the last few years, and now the rest of the league does. And there's Myers on cue. Tackled at the 20.
That's a fantastic throw by Palmer. He was getting hit by Andre Branch. We've already talked about how strong he is and the strength that he has and toughness in the pocket. Watch the hit coming on Palmer. Left side of the screen as Branch comes to the inside. He just sees the man coverage, puts it out there for his tight end for 17.
New set of downs for the Oakland Raiders. Palmer guns it inside to Reese, who loses his helmet. That's good for 11 yards, and they'll move the chains again as Reese gets up to his feet. 6'1", 255 pounds.
Pass play, first and goal, Raiders.
First and goal inside the 10. Raiders trailing by 10. 9:20 to go in the fourth. 5 straight completions for Carson Palmer. Palmer will change the play. Play clock is down to 3, down to 2. Palmer didn't get the play off.
You know, and the play clock
Delay
is
of game.
right between the
Offense.
goalposts.
5-yard penalty.
Perhaps
First down.
50 yards away from him. The internal clock has to be going off as well for a quarterback. But to not see the play clock that's right in front of you, it's inexcusable.
7 penalties now against Oakland. Greg Knapp, veteran coach, running the offense for the Oakland Raiders, and will change the play here now. Different set of circumstances. First and goal from the 14. Spread the field. Palmer rifles underneath. Catch made by Hayward Bay. Makes one man miss and spins for extra yardage as Cox and Allen were there. Krasinski whiffed on him. Penalty marker on the play.
This may be an illegal pick against the Raiders. There'll be pass interference on Schmidt, I believe, in the end zone.
Offense, number 44. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Yep, you're all over it, Dan. Owen Schmidt.
Owen Schmidt, who's normally a fullback, lines up out wide here. Watch him come down and just block the defensive back, Derek Cox. Marcel Reese took that big hit when he lost his helmet. He's off the field now. In fact, he's all the way back into the locker room.
And he could have been a weapon in this situation for Oakland.
Probably would have been playing that position.
First and goal at the 24, you're right. Palmer pumps. Palmer underneath. Catch is made by McFadden and walks the tightrope along the sideline. Darren McFadden picks up 11 yards. Aaron Ross missed initially, and that allowed McFadden to gain extra yardage.
Just a great effort by McFadden.
For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. Game between the Jaguars and the Raiders. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our crew. Jacksonville 23, Oakland 13. 60 minutes will be seen immediately after the game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. Second and goal for Oakland. Handoff. McFadden.
And Marcel Reese has come back to the sideline. Has grabbed his helmet, standing next to Greg Knapp, looking to go back in the end zone. Fans didn't like that call on second down, bringing up now a third down. Reese coming back onto the field.
So Reese in. Kreiner will come off. This is third and goal for the Oakland Raiders. Obviously, they need a touchdown and a field goal, but when you get this deep and you had an opportunity first and goal inside the 10, you're thinking touchdown.
Yeah, but important for Palmer to realize you need a field goal as well, as you talked about, Ian. Don't force this one at risk an interception.
Play clock again winding down. 11th play of the drive. Timeout called.
Now, the Raiders saw it from the sideline that the play clock was running down, and they did not want to have another delay of game penalty on this drive.
Could be costly later in the game, though. Back in the Bay Area, big play here for the Oakland Raiders. They trail 23-13, 7:01 to go in the fourth quarter. Big play as well for the Jacksonville defense. Shotgun formation after the timeout. Palmer. Third and goal for the Raiders. Palmer. High throw. End zone. Off the hands of Streeter. The rookie out of Temple could not haul it in. Incomplete.
Perfect throw by Palmer. Streeter goes 6'3". Little shove off there on Cox by Streeter. And you know, that shove off may have cost him because he kind of slowed down to shove him off. If he continues to run, he makes the catch easily.
Palmer thought he had 6. Instead, it's a 31-yard field goal attempt for Sebastian Janikowski. Janikowski cuts the Jacksonville lead to 7. 6:52 to go. We're in the fourth quarter in Oakland. Jacksonville holding on to a 23-16 lead over the Oakland Raiders. 6:52 to play in the fourth quarter. Carson Palmer, 21 of 35, 229 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Field goal from Janikowski cuts it to 7. And he booms it through the uprights. No points for that. Our game summary here in Oakland. Maurice Jones-Drew injured left foot early in this game on crutches. Blaine Gabbert goes to work, connects with Cecil Shorts on a long one. Gabbert gets injured, stays in the game, a left shoulder injury, hands it off to Jennings for a touchdown, then Gabbert exits the game. Third quarter, Oakland Raiders start to get some life. Moore with a lunging touchdown for Oakland. And right now, 23-16, Jacksonville in front. Chad Henne in relief of Blaine Gabbert. Henne, tip ball, incomplete. He was trying to hit Mercedes Lewis, and it was Joselio Hansen who got a piece. NFL Today update. JB, Coach Cowher.
Jets within 3 of the Patriots.
Yeah, Dustin Keller's going to catch a 7-yard pass from Mark Sanchez to cap a 14-play, 92-yard drive, and now it's a 3-point game. New England leads.
5:39 left in regulation. Ian and Dan.
Tight there, tight here. One possession game with 6:48 to go. Jaguars have 7 official yards in the second half, just 1 first down. 2nd and 10. They bring the rush. Henne again not on the same page as his wide receiver, Cecil Shorts. He thought he was going to cut off that route. Shorts continued. It's incomplete.
Well, the Raiders know that Henne is struggling and hasn't had a whole lot of practice time, so they're bringing a lot of blitzes now. We saw Hansen on the first down play deflect the pass that could have been intercepted, and that time Tyvon Branch came on a safety blitz. So I would think that the Raiders would continue that strategy on 3rd and 10 now, put more pressure on Chad Henne. Now the Raiders use a very critical timeout here in a game where they trail by just 7. They'll have 1 timeout left.
Timeout called with 6:45 remaining. Oakland. Oakland Raiders use the timeout with the play clock winding down on their previous possession. They just used the timeout on defense. They're down to 1 timeout remaining. This is a 3rd and 10 for Jacksonville. 6:45 to go in the 4th. Working from the gun. Rush coming. Henne hit as he throws. It's incomplete. Mike Mitchell on a safety blitz.
Now 3 plays in a row. Jason Tarver, defensive coordinator, dials up a blitz. This time it's Mitchell, as you said, Ian, and he goes inside of Mercedes Lewis and puts the quarterback on the ground. Another incomplete pass, and not very much time used off the clock by the Jaguars.
Brian Anger played his college football very close by at Berkeley. Punts it to Phillip Adams. Ball takes a bounce. Caroms inside the 30, but it was touched by Jacksonville prior. So they'll sort out the spot.
That would be great field position. Kevin Elliott hit the ball at about the 42-yard line, so the Raiders will take over in very good position.
They trail Jacksonville 23-16 with 6:31 to go in the 4th quarter. And Carson Palmer coming out to lead this Raiders offense. What's on the line here for Oakland? A win, and they're back in it in the topsy-turvy AFC West with Denver and San Diego tied at the top of the division at 3-3. Kansas City is 1-5. Six teams entered the week with just 1 win. Oakland, Jacksonville, Carolina, New Orleans, Cleveland, Kansas City. New Orleans did get a victory earlier today. First down. Fake the handoff. Palmer in trouble. Thrown down by Mincy. Jeremy Mincy used to suit up for the San Francisco 49ers back in the Bay Area and make it a big play for Jacksonville.
Well, he's going to go right around Willie Smith. Smith, who had trouble last week against Atlanta with 3 holding penalties. That was play action, so Smith was on his blocking route. Marcel Reese does not come over quick enough to get Mincy. 8-yard loss on first down.
2nd and 18. Palmer will throw on the quick hitter. Denarius Moore takes it just into Jacksonville territory. Brought down at the 49, but short of a first down.
They get it almost all the way back on that slant route. Now Palmer can pick and choose on this defense.
This is a 3rd and 1 for Oakland. We are under 6 minutes to play. 7-point game. Palmer's going to do it himself. Quarterback keeper for a first down. They'll move the chains.
They really, with all this time to go, there's really no sense of any hurry up here for the Raiders, although they like the fact that they've had success without huddling up. Now Palmer will do exactly that as he deploys his wide receivers and will call the play at the line of scrimmage. That keeps the Jags from substituting fresh players.
On first down for the Raiders. Palmer over the middle. It's broken up. Tried to squeeze it into Marcel Reese. And Mike Harris back there deep.
Yeah, the rookie out of Florida State just made a spectacular play. Trying not to interfere, but watch as he sticks his left hand out right at the perfect timing. Keep the ball away from Reese.
6th round draft pick. Harris out there, known for his speed. 2nd and 10 for Oakland. They'll go to the running game. McFadden is stacked up. Picks up 4 yards, brings up 3rd and 6. Posluszny in on that play for Jacksonville. We're under 5 minutes to go now in the 4th quarter.
And McFadden just hadn't got anything going. 17 carries, just 35 yards.
Maurice Jones-Drew watching from the sideline with crutches. Injured his left foot. 2nd carry of the day for Jacksonville. 3rd and 6. Palmer, deep drop, throws. Oh, what a snare by Streeter! First down, Raiders to the Jacksonville 25. It covers 13 yards on the hookup.
Yeah, really a super effort by the 6'3" Streeter, leading receiver in the preseason for the Raiders. Watch him go high over the top of Derek Cox.
Out of Burlington, New Jersey, he was a New Jersey State high jump champion in high school. Knocked away, Reese in the end zone. And that would have been the equalizer for Oakland. 4:05 to play in the 4th.
Again, it was Mike Harris with a spectacular play again. Watch him, almost a carbon copy of what we just saw. Reese going on the post route and Harris staying with him and knocking the ball away with his left hand and almost picked off by Przinski.
2nd and 10 from the 25 of Jacksonville. 4:05 to play. Palmer steps up. Palmer gets rid of it. Incomplete. Myers in the area. And Russell Allen settling back defensively for Jacksonville. Pressure coming from Mosley and Alualu.
And Palmer looking quickly to the one side, then back over the middle. He's lucky this ball wasn't picked off as he takes the big hit from Mosley. Like Russell Allen had a good shot at the interception there. A lot of pressure on the 10-year veteran.
2-time Pro Bowler Carson Palmer operating from the gun. 3rd and 10. Palmer throws deep ball sideline, intercepted. Aaron Ross, and they're going to rule it down. Ross with a leaping attempt. So it's incomplete. And now what? 4th down.
Well, this is your answer. Janikowski comes out. Ross with a great effort, but could not control the ball all the way to the ground.
He lost it right at the last moment.
It's just like a receiver. You got to make the catch and maintain it through the contact with the ground.
And Oakland has just used its final timeout.
Wow. Well, they may be discussing on the sidelines what they want to do with their offense and not Janikowski, as the special teams now being called over to the sidelines.
You know, Carson Palmer, he said he's always played for defensive coaches. He said, look, my gut, I always want to go for it. Now, I'm not the coach. I trust the coach, but I'll always jab the coach and say, let's go for it. He knows best. It's not my job. I already have enough jobs. but Palmer may have made his point on the Oakland sideline.
I mean, you don't have the ability to stop the clock.
Well, if the Jaguars get the ball back and get one first down, the game will be over.
Well, that's something they haven't been able to do, is get a first down.
Good point.
Last 2 times they've gone 3 and out and taken about 2 minutes and a half off the clock. So here we go, 4th down.
So they pull the field goal unit off the field, back to the Oakland sideline, and now a 4th and 10 for the Oakland Raiders. Trailing by 7. Under 4 minutes to go. Palmer off his back foot. End zone! Contact! Hayward Bay! Ripped down by Ross and a penalty marker.
Yeah, real easy call as Aaron Ross lost sight of the ball. Hayward Bay with all that speed got behind him.
Interference. Defense. Number 31. In the end zone. Ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. First down.
Watch the right arm go around the throat of Hayward Bay. Clearly pass interference here. That right hand right on the face mask.
First and goal, handoff. McFadden leans in and didn't get there. Penalty flag on the play in the back of the end zone. Posluszny piling up with Przinski and Mosley defensively for Jacksonville. .341 to go in the 4th quarter. Jaguars 23, the Raiders 16.
They're counting players out there. See if they're Jags at 12 men.
On defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Maybe that's why they stopped McFadden. They had an extra body out there. Here we go. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's too many.
Nice job in the counting, Dan.
I had help.
First and goal inside the 1. Raiders will huddle up as the officials have a chat. Now we're set to go.
Well, Palmer was so successful with the quarterback sneak earlier in this drive. Wouldn't be a bad play selection right here with just inches to go before the end zone.
First and goal inside the 1. Oakland looking for the tie. Palmer forces his way in. Touchdown Raiders. Carson Palmer does it himself. The Raiders an extra point away from tying this one up. 10 plays, 58 yards. The Raiders call a timeout, decide to go for it on 4th and 10. They get the pass interference, and it sets them up right on the doorstep.
Well, I think the jab that maybe Palmer gave the coach on the sidelines worked out. I mean, he put the ball out there where the penalty could be called, threw to his fastest receiver, and Ross interfered.
Extra point, Janikowski. Leckler puts it down. Janikowski knocks it through. We are all knotted up. 23-23 with 3:34 to go.
Pretty good, pretty good selection here by Palmer. What he sees is a huge gap here. All he has to do is get between Brizell and Wisniewski to get into the end zone. The Jags are going to pinch, but they're going to pinch down too late.
Dennis Allen, youngest head coach in the NFL, pumping the fist, and his offense able to create late in the game thanks in large part to this penalty flag, and that was on the PI.
But you know, that ball was thrown to the inside. If it's thrown like a normal fade to the outside and to the back of the end zone, Ross is in perfect position and will probably not interfere, but because it was thrown short into the inside, Hayward Bay reacted to the ball. Ross reacted to Bay, grabbed him by the face mask, and drew the penalty.
First rushing touchdown of the season for Carson Palmer. And now Chad Henne in for the injured Blaine Gabbert. Will try to lead Jacksonville to a victory on the road. Only trip to the West Coast this season. Janikowski will kick it off.
He's got a great kicker too in Scobie.
Spurlock over his head and fields it in the end zone for a touchback.
You're thinking about Scobie's range. This year his longest has been 47. His career long is 59. Perfect kicking conditions here this afternoon. The grounds crew here did a great job of getting the sod back on the ground where the infield used to be, so that won't be an issue for Scobie if the Jaguars can mount any type of offense.
They have one first down in the second half. It came early in the third quarter, so they've gone 24 minutes without a first down. From the 20-yard line, tied at 23. Here comes the rush. Henny gets rid of it. Catch is made. Jennings, he's got room. Rashad Jennings finds the lane and crosses the 45. 26 yards on the catch and run by Jennings.
Well, the Raiders will want to put pressure. Here's Jennings out of the backfield. Watch the linebacker come. There's nobody for Jennings. Burris in pursuit. Huge play on first down for the Jaguars.
Came into the game with only 2 catches on the season. He's got 7 today for 58 yards. Just across the 45. Henny, shotgun, throw, sideline route, handled by Shorts.
They're going to get Shorts for pushing off.
Flag thrown.
Yeah, he pushed off on Michael Huff.
They had about 12 officials along that Raiders sideline.
Number 84, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So that was a 17-yard pass play, and that would have put Scobie into field goal range.
No question about that. So critical error by the second-year player, Cecil Shorts.
First and 20.
Back it up to the 36-yard line. 6 penalties against Jacksonville, costing the Jaguars 92 yards. On first and 20, inside handoff, nothing there for Jennings. Lamar Houston, first man to bring him down. Clock is moving, 2:40 and counting left in the fourth quarter.
That first down pass completion to Jennings may have influenced the Raiders not to blitz on this series of plays and just have Henny prove that he can throw the ball to these receivers he doesn't have a whole lot of experience working with.
Jacksonville has all 3 timeouts remaining, but they're in no rush to stop the clock because they don't want to allow enough time for Oakland to make something happen late in the fourth.
Good point.
Second and 19 for the Jaguars. They crowd the line. Henny gets rid of it. Drilled on the sideline. Mike Thomas hit there by Tyvon Branch. And we hit the 2-minute warning after the 6-yard pickup. Jacksonville and Oakland tied at 23. We're back to O.co Coliseum after this. Back in Oakland, 23-23. Jacksonville has all 3 timeouts remaining. No Maurice Jones-Drew out with a left foot injury. And an interesting scenario here. How do they approach it on a 3rd and 13? Gabbard out with a shoulder injury. Henny is in. Shotgun formation. They're 1 of 12 on 3rd down today. Henny underneath. Catch made by Lewis. Mercedes Lewis is forced to the sideline. Tyvon Branch. 1:52 to go. It's 4th down for Jacksonville.
They're going to bring out the punt team and hope their defense can keep the Raiders and Sebastian Janikowski and his big leg away from kicking a game-winning field goal.
At the very least, if you're Mercedes Lewis, stay in bounds on the gang tackle. It's tough to do when you have all those black jerseys coming your way.
And you're trying to make a first down. I mean, that is a very difficult situation to be in.
Brian Anger will punt it. Phillip Adams, who did muff a punt earlier, is waiting for it at the 10 for Oakland. And a timeout call just before the play clock ran out. Jacksonville does have 2 timeouts remaining. Mike Mularkey's team, 1-4. His first year as the head coach of the Jaguars. 3rd year overall as a head man. Was the head coach in Buffalo 2004 and 2005. Last 4 years, the offensive coordinator, working with Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. 28th year associated with the NFL as a player, assistant, and head coach. The Jets and New England tied at 26, heading to overtime in Foxborough.
Yeah, I don't like that use of that timeout. Anger's got a big leg. You move him back 5 yards after a delay of game penalty. So what? Still going to be able to pin the Raiders deep. Might need that timeout.
Anger, the highest drafted punter since Todd Sauerbrunn in '95. And that one into the end zone. Oh, it looked like it was going to die inside the 5. A 48-yard punt, but a net of 28. And now the Raiders have a minute 43 to work with.
And they really need to go 40 yards here to get Janikowski within comfortable range. Maybe 35 yards to get him into a long range. Remember, he holds the NFL record with the 63-yarder.
And they appealed the league, trying to make it a 64-yarder so that he would hold it by himself.
So it was a really long 63 yards.
It was. It was a long 63. A minute 43 to go. Will Janikowski get a chance here? 5 receivers set for Palmer. On first down, flag is thrown. Palmer incomplete. Myers the intended target.
A false start. Another penalty against the Raiders. Unbelievable.
False start. Offense, number 65, prior to the snap. First down.
And the veteran Mike Brizell.
Brizell had a concussion last week against Atlanta. Here, just a brain cramp as he moves too quickly.
1st and 15 from the 15. 9th penalty against the Raiders. Palmer throws it. Catch made underneath by Moore, and he is spun down. Remember, Oakland has no timeouts left, just across the 20. It's a 6-yard pickup. Przinski with the tackle.
Gain of 5 to the 20.
Down to a minute 27 to go. Palmer gets rid of it. Over the middle. Some space. Denarius Moore makes a beeline for the sideline, and he's out of bounds.
Great play by Cox to force him out of bounds. Heads up also by Marcel Reese, not blocking Cox in the back here on the crossing route. Watch number 17, Moore, come across the middle. And from the right side of the screen, you can see how Reese comes off of Cox, and Cox makes a super play.
You know, the problem there is you still have to get the first down, and his thinking is, hey, I got to stop the clock.
He had plenty of opportunity to get up the field as well.
3rd and 4 for the Raiders. Sets and throws, incomplete. Darren McFadden in a matchup with Landry. And that's now a huge problem for Oakland.
This is why I didn't like Jacksonville using that timeout on that 4th down when they had good field position to punt the ball deep to the Raiders. They wasted time out there. They would have 3 now when they get the ball back with about a minute to go.
And if Denarius Moore goes for the first down, yes, they lose some time off the clock, but they don't have to give the football back to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Leckler will punt it. Gets rid of it. Low kicks for Locke Fields, 33. He's got room across the 40 and out of bounds with a minute 6 to go. The Jaguars will have an opportunity to win this game in regulation.
They need about 25 yards now for Scobie to get within his comfort range. Remember, his long in his career is 59. Longest this year, 47. He's been automatic.
And the 59-yarder was a game winner 2 years ago against Indianapolis.
And the Raiders lost a game winner last week to Atlanta on a 54-yarder by Mark Bryant.
So we're tied at 23. 1:06 to play. Gabbard out with a left shoulder injury. Jones-Drew forced out with a left foot injury. Chad Henne and Rashad Jennings in their place. 2 timeouts to work with. Extended conversation between Henne and Jennings. Shotgun formation. Henne fires. Low throw. And Blackman's got his first catch of the day. Clock continues to roll. He's down in midfield. We're down to 50 seconds to play. Jacksonville does have 2 timeouts.
Raiders blitz that time, and Jennings did a good job with his pass pro.
2nd and 3 for the Jaguars. Henne slant. Dangerous pass. It's almost picked off by Huff as Shorts tried to get position in front of him.
What a great job Michael Huff has done switching from safety out to corner. I mean, he's wearing number 24, which reminds me of the great Willie Brown. And that was a Willie Brown type of play right there. One of 13 converting third downs for the Jaguars in this game.
3rd and 3 for Jacksonville. Play clock down to 2. Henny pats the ball. He throws. Nobody home. 4th down, Jaguars. Shorts in the area. Thomas in the vicinity. And that was a rough 3 and out for Jacksonville.
And you've got to punt this ball because if you don't get it, you're real close to Janikowski range.
Oh, there's no question. 37 seconds left.
This is where the pressure is on the snapper, Jeremy Kane, and also on Brian Anger, the rookie punter, just to catch this ball and get it airborne. Raiders got close to blocking it last punt.
Phillip Adams waiting for it. High kick. Fair catch called for by Adams at the 13-yard line. 29 seconds left. We know Palmer has a rifle. What do you do?
Well, he can reach any part of the field here, but it may be wise to play for overtime at this point without any timeouts. You're about 50 yards away from Janikowski's range. And with the pressure that the Jaguars have put on Palmer today, this is the 63-yarder by Janikowski in the thin air of Mile High, Denver, Colorado.
At the time, Janikowski became the 3rd player to kick a 63-yarder. Akers from San Francisco became the 4th earlier this season. Shotgun formation, they will go to the ground, and McFadden spun down with 24 seconds left. Tackle made by Andre Branch.
And the Jags smart, they use their timeout.
Jacksonville has 1 remaining, forcing Oakland to at least snap the ball. 22 seconds left.
And we have seen a fumbled snap exchange between Carson Palmer and his center, Stefan Wisniewski. Anything can happen to this crazy one.
Jacksonville dealing with 2 key injuries to their star running back and their young quarterback. Oakland rallies in the second half to tie this one up at 23 apiece. Both teams 1-4. There is that desperation feeling around these two franchises right now. The Raiders know a win puts them back in the hunt in the AFC West. And for Jacksonville, just trying to get a win and learn from some of the mistakes they've made earlier in the season. Up the field for McFadden.
Palmer
and the clock is rolling.
He wants to spike it, stop the clock with about 10 to go.
So officially 11 seconds left on the clock. I mean, look, you've got 1 shot on a sideline throw.
Boy,
and rush Janikowski out on the field.
And you think about the wasted timeouts that the Raiders.
Yep.
On a 3rd down on defense after an incomplete pass, they called a timeout.
$11 seconds left. They need 23 yards for a 63-yard attempt. Pump, throw, Palmer. It's caught. Rod Streeter with the catch. 6 seconds remaining.
Well, you like a 65-yard field goal try, great pump fake, and a bullet to Streeter, and he makes his 2nd big catch here in the 4th quarter.
64-yard attempt for Sebastian Janikowski. Looking for the record and the win. Jacksonville does have 1 timeout left.
Aaron Ross back in the end zone. In case this one comes up short, he would try to return it, and returning it is good because most of these Raiders are big offensive linemen.
Powerful leg. Sebastian Janikowski, 64-yard attempt. Tied at 23. Janikowski looking for the win, looking for the record. No! And Ross on the return. Ross still on his feet. Couple of blocks out there. And Ross trying to lateral. And this is going to end it in regulation. Overtime is next.
No, Russell Allen just laid out Jared Valdir. You heard the crowd reaction to that big block.
That's the end of regulation.
That still probably would have made it from 57, 58 yards away, but from 64, you're asking for a whole lot out of Sebastian Janikowski.
And remember, we are below sea level in this stadium. This field is about 23 feet below sea level. A little bit of difference in kicking Mile High, Denver, Colorado.
Overtime in Oakland. Jacksonville and the Raiders. 23 apiece. Scott Green will head out to midfield now.
All right, gentlemen, we'll play up to 15 minutes of overtime. Each team will have an opportunity to possess the ball unless the first team scores a touchdown or a safety is scored. We'll use fourth quarter timing rules. All replay will be up in the booth. You'll each get 2 timeouts. Jacksonville, you're the visitors. What's your call? Heads is the call. It's heads. Okay. Jacksonville will receive at this end. Good luck, gentlemen.
Jacksonville wins the toss. Overtime in the Bay Area. 23-23. Jaguars and Raiders. Maurice Jones-Drew so excited to come back to the Bay Area. About 45 minutes outside of his hometown of Antioch. Injured in the first quarter, left foot injury. 75 friends and family members on hand to support him. But he has been in the role of spectator here today. Jaguars and Raiders tied at 23, overtime in Oakland. On a bounce, Mike Thomas. Thomas breaks one tackle. Brought down just short of the 20-yard line. Mike Mitchell on special teams making the play. So a touchdown ends it. Field goal allows the other team to get an opportunity to possess the ball.
And a safety also will end it. And that's what the Jaguars have to be careful with, the way they've been moving backwards a lot here in the second half.
Jacksonville lost the opener in overtime to Minnesota. 1st and 10, just short of the 20-yard line. 5-year veteran Chad Henne at quarterback for the Jaguars. Give to Jennings, met by McClain. Rolando McClain with the stuff. Coming up tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes. Steven Spielberg, followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, The Good Wife, and The Mentalist. Only CBS.
Jaguars tried an unbalanced line that time and ran away from it as Cameron Bradfield shifted to the left side.
Second and 10 from the 19. Lewis in motion for Jacksonville. Fake the handoff. Henne! Pushed down by Seymour. A little bit of a phantom sack there as the pressure was coming. And Henne folded up.
Well, he saw Richard Seymour coming, and it was a wise move by Henne. Evan Britton is the left guard, 73. And Seymour goes right through him and tries to swat the quarterback. He'll get credit for the sack.
If Jacksonville doesn't get any yards, you're looking at Oakland having the football right around midfield. 67 yards since Gabbert left the game of offense for Jacksonville. 3rd and 20. Henne underneath. Shorts coughs it up. Jacksonville losing the football. Oakland's got it.
Great play by Lamar Houston from his defensive end spot. Faked rushing, dropped back into coverage, saw Shorts coming across the field and ripped the ball out. That's 99 Houston, who's made a couple of huge plays today for the Raiders.
Joselio Hansen on the recovery for the Oakland Raiders. What a turn here in OT.
But remember, Raiders need to get a touchdown to end this game. They cannot settle for a field goal here. Well, a field goal now will win it because the Jaguars have had their one possession in overtime.
So Oakland can end it. 1st and 10 at the 21. Tight formation for the Raiders. McFadden in the backfield. They're not even going to try anything. They're just going to set it up for Sebastian Janikowski.
Carson Palmer takes the knee.
Taking no chances.
Sebastian Janikowski.
Janikowski's only missed once this season, and that was that 64-yard attempt at the end of regulation.
Leckler will hold it. John Kondo, the snapper. 40-yard attempt for the win. On the approach, Janikowski. He nails it. Oakland wins in overtime. 26-23. Raiders get the W in OT as we head to JB in New York.